give me this before I slip, before I sink, because I think I may have found the short way down. Just give me something cold and clear, the love spent here, as I had feared, means nothing, dear. I pray to reason I'll forget, I'll trade what's left. Just give me something on the days out, bring it to catch the blood out, how manifestation on the days out, dying just to catch the blood out. Yes, quick till we die alone. I will defy the pulse, skies, but please pretend we're still alive. If it gives you hope, I've sung and drowned. I'm taking the short way down. Just give me something on the days out, bring it to catch the blood out, how manifestation on the days out, dying just to catch the blood out. Yes, quick till we die alone. just wanna watch the world burn. I wanna believe that it'll turn for something. The writing is on the wall. It's not to accept that it was all for nothing. All for nothing. Yeah, I know you know that we've been living a lie. I'm blind until the day we die. Maybe we passed the point of no return. Maybe we just wanna watch the world burn. We just wanna watch the world burn.
Oh, how easily they forget, no anchor to the past. Cut the blood supply and hope the heart beats itself to death. My ribcage is now my own, still feels like your arms, neck, clothed and soul. How'd I let it go this far? It happens faster than you could ever think. From always and forever to never again in less than a blink. The river runs until it's dry, but I'd die spitting my lust driven to its mouth to keep it alive. Long drives, wide eyes, and your smiling face. You dance, I drink, let's waste the night away. They say you always know right away, but you can't foresee your sand being pulled into the sea under a tidal wave. Secrets leak out when you're asleep. Coming from a queen's mouth, talk isn't all that cheap. I'm now a lone flame, searching for a purpose, setting fires everywhere I go. Can't avoid the burns, we share pain. You took me by my throat and made me understand the world as if I were you and I couldn't breathe. Now you can lead a horse to fresh water, but you can't teach it how to be okay when you decide to leave. I'm lost, there's no one to protect. I got so used to being sheltered from the rain that always followed you. It's not my first time, actually it's nothing new, but that doesn't make it any easier to get through. The snow won't melt, smoke won't clear. Turn hope inside out 1,000 times, trying to see if there was ever anything more than dressed up fear. But the two go hand in hand, you can't have one without the other being there. I'm barely breathing, waiting for the spins to end. Begging to God I don't believe in to let me sleep so I can dream again. We went through thick and thin, came out separate on the other end. But please know, no matter what, you'll always have me as a friend. And I finally know your crime is your pride and your past is my only ghost. I'm going crazy out of my control, but there's nothing I can do. I have no choice but to let it go. Each day gets a little less intense. No longer feel like there's someone standing on my chest. You made me more me, and I won't forget the times you helped me find my feet when I was buried in my head. Thank you for giving what you had to give, taking what you had to take and making me believe in you. Even though I might be gone forever, there will always be a place in my brain that'll think of you. You look so graceful when you're flying. Keep going, there's a lot of world that you haven't seen. You have my best wishes, even if only in silence. You deserve everything that you've ever dreamed. The snow melted right when the smoke cleared. I turned love inside out 1,000 times, trying to see if it was ever anything more than the will to persevere. But the two go hand in hand, the clouds surrounding you eventually will clear. I can breathe, I found contentment in the end. Telling to God I don't believe in to go to sleep so I can think again. We went through thick and thin, came out separate on the other end. But please know, no matter what, you'll always have me as a
I'm a fucking nigga since the 5th grade. Really ain't no difference if that nigga gay.
Blood satellite.
Hey
You just
there.
showed up. You showed up late.
Hey, my friend, it's good to see you. How
This is
you
a
doing?
bad start. This is a bad
Hey.
start. How is my audio sounding, by the way?
Hold on, let me get both ears on here.
He's not even. He doesn't even have
I
his
have
headphones.
one. I had only one on.
He's not even listening to me talk. He's just saying shit.
No, it sounds okay. Is it too gritty? I don't know.
Is
Maybe
it?
maybe
Well,
it's
are you
good.
asking me? Because I can't hear.
Well, you can't hear it. That's true. I mean, every time I say it's okay, and then we found out afterwards that Judas is an idiot, it actually sounds bad.
Someone tell me. Can
No,
you
no,
hear?
you know what? So that had the tenor that we are looking for. So we're good.
How about this? Can you hear the sound
Yeah.
effects? Though? Okay, good.
Sounded distant, actually. Got some nice reverb.
All right. Okay, so it's not supposed to have reverb, but we're gonna just we're gonna fucking deal with it.
The phantom reverb.
This is the first live stream. We were going to do a regular recorded episode, but it's a strange week. I don't know. Fucking New Year's Eve landed quickly right after Christmas, and so we just
It
didn't
always
have time. So this is going to be a bit of a blend of an episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. Some of the types of stuff we'd be just shooting from the hip onto the episode, and I would have the benefit of being able to edit out the parts that I think don't land very well. So you're going to be subjected to all that tonight. So first of all, Christmas. We haven't really talked. This is the thing. I was, you're kind of online intermittently during the holidays. It's a busy time.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing all these people, these other creators doing like Christmas Eve streams and Christmas Day streams.
That's sad.
I don't know how you do it.
Well, they don't have families. They're young guys. And guys for whom it's a career, right? It's not for us. We have other shit going on.
So, and well, that's the thing, because I was about to say we hadn't talked that much, but because we have our families and then extended families. So I'm
Yeah.
asking you now, how was everything?
Give me a second. Oh yeah, it was good. It was
I
good.
love your sick cycles throughout the year, because I know from knowing you, we're getting into a bad one right now.
No, you know what? It's just the cough. I swear to God, it is just the cough. I feel fine. I'm up and at 'em. I'm doing stuff, and I got special magic medicine for it. That's why. But no, I haven't been that sick. I saw my family. I told you I got a watch from my dad, which was really cool. We split it up this year, eh? Like we didn't have everybody over to our place. We just did like kind of semi-casual dinners for most people. My wife cooked a nice turkey for us, and then my mom did do a small turkey at her place for that part of the family.
She
but-
made a lesser turkey.
I mean, it was big for the number of people. I think there's only 7 people there, but so it was big for that.
I thought they just had one size that you can just get a turkey.
Turkeys? I mean, no.
Did she try and pass it? She made you a chicken, is what she
No,
did.
no, no. So, you know, she did like a grocery store turkey, like a regular turkey. But we did one. We go to. I almost named it, but you know the little place. Nah, maybe you don't. There's a place near us that raises turkeys, and we got one 2 years ago from them, a huge one, and it was.
So you have
cheap.
to pick it out like a lobster.
You don't pick it out. You just tell them. You pay in advance and you aim. You're like, I want it, you know, in the higher range of size or whatever, and then you get what you get, and it was good.
Okay, when you said aim, I thought you were going to shoot it.
I wish, dude. I wish, dude. The turkeys out here they're wild. They got wild.
That's
turkeys.
something that millionaires do. They go on these wild hunts, but they're all very coordinated and, you know, manicured. And so you just stand on a tower and then you shoot your dinner, but it's already drugged and raped.
But if I had I mean, I do have the money. I'm just always complaining about being poor. It's only like $40. If I had the time, and
This
the
guy,
wherewithal-
can I just say this? Yeah, you practice stolen poverty. He's
Yeah.
always talking about being poor. He ain't. He's fine.
You know what it is? I'm frugal. I actually have lots of money, but the reason I have lots of money is because I always pretend like I'm poor and I don't buy anything, so I just keep all my money.
So
But-
they call you a miser. That's what you are.
I'm a fucking miser. But you've
Got
seen
'em.
them. They're out where you are too, eh? Like if you get up a little north from your place, have you seen the turkeys on the road? They're all over the place.
Tell you what, I never. You know what? No, what am I saying? I was about to tell a fib, but there's this one. Because for the people who don't live in Canada or around where this would be, because we're in a kind of a rural area, you'll just see gangs of turkeys milling about. So there's this one field that's, you know, very rarely used for anything, and I'm always seeing like the same gang of turkeys, and I check in on them.
Yeah. Fuck.
I like to know that, because like in all these properties, you'll have just like a collection of trees that's just there for soil, I guess, and that's their base of operation. So I got a
Yeah.
whole lore about these guys.
And the thing is, compared to other hunting, like I've done, like, you know, pheasant and coyote and rabbit, and it's impossible, man. It's fucking. They always get skunked. They're smart animals, and they're afraid of people. They're smart.
Are they? Here's the.
Turkeys are stupid, and they're not afraid of people. No, not. I'm talking about turkeys. Turkeys are retarded.
Okay.
Turkeys are retarded, and they are not afraid of people. You walk right up to him and just blow his head off, man. But you need a special license for it. Like rabbit, you don't. But like good luck. Look, okay. In fairness, I killed a lot of rabbits because rabbits are dumb too. But like wild rabbits, if you're not like on the farm, but if you're out in the bush, you get lucky if you come up on one. But if you don't, they're hard to see. So I don't know.
What's your feeling on grouse? Because I'll see grouses out too, and it feels
Yep.
more exotic. It
love
feels
grouse.
special. Like
I've
I
had
shouldn't do it.
I've had somebody else's grouse that they caught, and I think it tastes pretty good. It's like a little Cornish hen or something. But
You know what's a fucking
hard to
scam of a bird? I got one for you. Peacocks. This bird, you think it's the butterfly of birds. You think it's, you know, a fucking top hat walking around, but I've been out in these streets all day talking shit about peacocks.
Yeah.
I don't think they're special. I think they're. I can see a world where we're overrun with peacocks, because if you just don't see them, so you go to a zoo. It's like going to a zoo to see a raccoon.
yeah. and you know
Can't
the
make heads or
peacock,
tails of it.
that's the boys, eh? And the girls, the peahens, they're not that pretty. They're kind of like turkeys themselves. So
So the girls are ugly.
girls are ugly. It's fat,
You know
fat
what?
little brown
I
ones.
like that. I like seeing a type of animal where the females suck.
I mean, that's why we call it peacocking, right? When
Yeah.
the fellas do it. But you know, it was
Yeah.
little piece of Christmas trivia. Prior to the introduction of the turkey to Europe from North America, it was goose that the peasants would eat, but it was peacock that the Lord would eat. And apparently it sucks. It's like it it's showy, right, as a meal, but it sucks as a meal. Like there's not a lot of meat and it's bad meat.
I like that because you always assume a king would eat something delicious. They'd have a spread. I like the idea of a king eating a ceremonial, terrible dish.
Yeah. Well, really, he's got to show off.
So it's a lot of roasted pineapple. No one likes that. No one likes grilled pineapple.
I
Shut
read
the
they would
fuck up.
bring in a boar. They would hunt a wild boar, and then like roast the head and bring the head in and stuff an apple in its mouth. And it's like nobody wants to eat.
We got fucking Epstein's bed sheet news here. Love it. Saying peacocks are delicious. I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, I mean, look, this is an article that I read. Maybe it's not true. I haven't eaten a peacock. Let's eat a peacock.
I want you have to understand this. We haven't done these things. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I have eaten partridge and pheasant, and I like it.
Everyone's talking
Right,
goose.
right.
They're talking. Everyone's sharing their Christmas spreads in the chat. Everyone's trying to say goose is the way to go. We
haven't
did a
had
roast.
So long, man. Honestly, I'm at the point where I think I want to switch to goose. I haven't had goose in 5-6 years, but I've never had goose that I just wanted to spit it out. I've had okay goose and I've had great goose, but you've had bad fucking turkey, man. I've never had bad goose.
It'd be funny just to watch you spit out a bite of goose, like a spit take of goose.
Slam $10 down on the table. Say, I gotcha. I fucking gotcha.
I got you. Well, you got me? What? Yeah, because the only way I'll eat turkey is if it's smoked turkey now. So if I can't run my smoker and I can't, then I don't even fucking want it. We did a roast. Okay.
My mom's turkey this year was it was moist. It was actually pretty moist. It was totally fucking flavorless, but she didn't smoke her brine, and I don't know what she did, but it was moist.
No one
enough.
does.
Yeah.
It's only psychos like us
you
that
and
take
me,
any work. You're letting a woman cook a turkey. That's your first mistake. They don't know what to fucking do.
That's not good.
I think women are intimidated by turkey, and they want to get it in the oven and get away from it. You know, like it's a creepy food. Turkey gives them the ick.
Yep.
So they're like, get it away from me. I'm calling my brothers.
They're pretty gross words. So.
I'm calling my brothers to deal with this turkey. We got Randall Shakur, who isn't doing a holiday ham. We did a ham too. We did a whole bunch of stuff. But here's the thing: we did it just for us, and this is a strange Christmas because we have Penny's my daughter, who's a month old by this point. We got Nichols, who's 2 years and 9 months, something like that. But it's very hectic, and with the holidays, you have to split up your time amongst the family. You know, there's my side, and there's my wife's side, and then there's all kinds of other people in the mix, and people come from out of town. And I don't do any of it.
Yeah.
I was a curmudgeon this year. This is probably. This will sound crazy, but I'm going to say it anyway. And you tell me if I'm way off there. You know, I love seeing the children with Christmas, of course. The kids opening presents, they love it, of course. That lasts 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about a month and a half or whatever it is of lead up, of bullshit, of shoveling the driveway, of doing the lights, putting up the ornaments, all the food, scheduling phone calls. Like, I really wanted it to be over.
Yeah.
I
same.
really, like, I'm not loving it. And, like, I don't enjoy it any more now than I did when I was single, or, you know, even with my wife before children. And even then, we might have appreciated it more because you could do dumb shit. You can just walk around a Christmas market and say, wow. You can walk around and look at lights and go, wow. Just like stupid shit you do. Like, you remember all the dumb shit you used to do before kids and wasting time?
Yeah.
But I'm just like, now it's like, I get it. It's important. Yes, we're building memories. We're doing all this shit. But I'm just like, I want it to be January 2nd more than anything in the fucking world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that relatable at all?
It is, and I miss that stuff. We did, especially we were living in Hong Kong before the kids were born, and we did so much of that stuff. There's so much to do, and my feeling is not so much that I hate the idea of like family Christmas shit. It's that I hate boomers and I hate broken families. Like you and I both have kind of weird families where they don't all get along, and grandma fights with mom, and it's shit, right? It's not fun. And there's also this thing where like the responsibility is entirely on you or I in either case, because we're the only ones that are like married with proper families and stable lives. So everybody else is like, oh, give me a Christmas experience, Dimes, please. So I think it would be great. Like what I remember as a kid, it was fantastic, where both families, both sides, everybody there, 25, 30 people, single day. And you got like 15 women that are all working in the kitchen and getting everything done. And you got like tons of cousins and older cousins helping the younger cousins. Like I want that again. But this fucking thing where it's like, it's essentially my family is the center of attention and everybody's arguing over scheduling. I hate it.
That's a great point. And I'd commented on that before, but I think there's a lot of younger listeners who have young families. And they might be the only ones in their families that have a family, especially if they're in this political milieu. And it's a strange dynamic because all attention is on you, and sometimes that can seem very interesting. But it is a strange dynamic. It's a strange dynamic to have just like a couple kids in a function, right?
Yeah.
It's because I remember growing up, and it was already trending down with my generation.
Yeah.
But there you'd have some younger cousins and some nieces, whatever the fuck it is, and you can kind of go to a different place, a basement or something, and you could like have fun, and you get something for the kids to do. But if it's just one or two kids, then all the older people want a share of that, and they're competing over who can play with it, and it's just a strange interplay of wills.
I remember Christmases when I was maybe like 10, 11 years old. And my brother was maybe, he's a few years younger than me. But I have, on my dad's side, like 10, 15 cousins-ish. And a bunch of them are old enough that by the time I'm 11, they have like 5-year-old kids. So there was an age range. Like my older cousins are in their early 20s, and then their kids are there. And then there's kids in their early teens, and there's 6-year-olds. And like you said, we just dominate the basement. And we're all just kicking around in the basement at grandma's place. And I mean, I found that fun, but I know we were all down there, which means the adults were all upstairs, just sitting on the couch and drinking. So,
having a great time and feeling like, oh, we can leave the kids down there and not have to check in on them every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is what you do if you're forced in this like helicopter situation. But yeah, so I don't, because you can do everything in your power to have the family and get your life together, but unless there's other people within your social circle that they're doing it, it's just strange. And I don't know how you can solve for that. There's no solution here.
The thing I'll never do again, we did one year where we had quote unquote everybody, but my extended family right now is my wife, her sister and husband, who we hate them. My brother, who's literally retarded.
I'm like, have I met them? Oh yeah, fuck.
My brother, who's retarded, and then my parents, my wife's parents, and then my other parents, because my parents are divorced. So 6 pairs or 3 pairs.
I will say,
grandparents.
I do like seeing your brother because I hype it up in my own mind, and for those because he's quite a large fellow, and he is he's autistic enough to be nigh retarded, if that makes any sense. But smart enough to game the system. He is in every aspect except physical. He is Somalian, but he's so autistic that I'm walking in the situation thinking, is he going to have a handlebar mustache this time? Is he going to have a top hat on? You know what I mean? He's going to have like a bandolier. You don't fucking know.
Yeah. I mean, look, my time with him is honestly the high point compared to the issue with the rest of them is they don't talk to each other. Everything has to be like focused on when is the food, when are the gifts? Oh, your kids are so cute, and then looking at your watch, and it's like, well, why do we do this?
That's such a bad situation showing up and then just immediately complaining. I hate that. Like, so what's a guy walking into a party and already jangling his keys? Like, so what's the hold up? What are we doing? What are we doing? Just fucking a cunty dad. I hate a cunty dad, don't you?
Yes.
But yeah, so anyway, we're just complaining about the holidays, but because I tell my wife, I'm like, I'd like to just do this at home. We got enough people. We're self-contained, and we made a ham for us. I don't want to fucking share. I just want to do. We decorated our house. No one decorates their house anymore.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that are like trying to start Christmas traditions. Everyone else in our family has just given up on them. They don't want to do nothing anymore. They're spiritually in Florida. So it's just us being like, hey, let's find a new thing. My wife put garlands up everywhere, right? And so, yeah, but I'm like, that's our thing now. Just stay away from this. You cancer people. You fucking giant ants.
Do you find ham is a bit of a... Like, here's my feeling. I love ham more than any other Christmas food, but it feels like a Coke because you're not doing anything. You're kind of getting a ham and you're kind of heating it up comparatively, right? And if I could just eat the ham, I'd eat the ham. but it feels like you're coping a little bit if you're like, oh, I did Christmas with a ham. I'm not saying you are, but you know what I mean?
It's hard to do ham. A lot of the time, ham comes out really gelatinous. I think most people have had bad ham, like they've had bad turkey, and they just learn to like it. So
You know what?
the way
that may be me actually. That might explain it.
Yeah, so when I do ham, it's got to be sort of a bone-in ham, and I like to reduce it. I like to cook off a lot of the moisture on the inside, and so it gets a bit of like and we put a glaze on it, and so there's like a really tough exterior, very sweet, but it's more meaty on the inside, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But it means you have to put it in the oven for like 6, 7, 8 hours. You don't need to do anything much else to it. Or if you're cooking it from raw, we're just buying like pretty much like a smoked ham it's good to go already.
Yeah.
But then just cooking it off, and so I'm just weird like that. But then my wife makes ham sandwiches from it. So then she'll put like a grainy mustard on some sourdough with some like old cheese and shit. And that's really good.
Old cheese.
I just wanted to. We're spending so much time talking about ham. Were we half an hour in? Fuck off. I guess. Well, I mean, maybe not with the music, but. So.
Sorry, guys.
Question here from Bill Wilson: Could you do an addendum to the NS arc on an episode on Metzger or Mason? Obviously, wouldn't be favorable on Mason, the man, but Siege was an influential work. Or at least I'm enough of a cold head old troon to remember people telling us to read it every 5 minutes. # never read. I mean, I'd be open to it. When we were doing that arc that he's referring to on a lot of the foundational far right, what's called like white supremacist literature, we don't need to go through all of them, but you had Rockwell, we had William Luther Pierce. I was going to read Siege, not just to do the bit and fulfill the meme, because you remember years ago everyone was saying read Siege, and that was them trying to appropriate people are reading culture of critique. That was the first one. That was a good one. Then they said, then sort of the Wignat version was just read Siege. It's like, okay. But I had heard from people who read it that it wasn't very good, and that's why I didn't put it up there, because we were already doing a lot. And so I'm open to it. I just heard that it was very uneven and not terribly good. But who's the guy? Yeah, James Mason. He's still alive. We could actually probably get James Mason on if we wanted to.
Not after that review.
But he's a weird, like, he's a fucked up guy. He's a weird guy. He's he's got enough dirt on his name that it might fuck us up. I tell you what, like, I've got guys. I wanted to get David Duke on at some point. I want to get Jared Taylor on at some point. Jared Taylor probably first. David Duke, because we did review his book. I think he would do it, but he's a tough customer to interview. I've seen him steamroll people very easily. Like, you need to go in with fucking handcuffs and electrodes to like not have him just dominate for 45 minutes. So I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of returning to some of that, which is the short answer to the question. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And if there's Siege, I think there's another one that I wanted to look at, but never got around to. We got a bunch of stuff lined up that I'm really excited about on the Blood Satellite Classic. We're going to be doing a couple episodes on the IRA soon. We got some more Canadian stuff coming, but then it's going to go right in the IRA. Then a bunch of like weird shit we're going to get back into as well. But I like the stuff that's lined up.
Nice.
I really want to look at the IRA. What I'm trying to find, and if anyone can forward me a suggestion, I want to find a really good book on the FLQ in Quebec. That was their separatist/terrorist group. I've seen mention of it in some books, but I've got a couple really good books on the IRA. But I haven't found anything that is really good on the FLQ. So if anyone's got anything, let me know.
That would be good, actually.
Yeah, just like like a serious internal history, not just like a liberal glossing over of it. Just anyway, maybe it doesn't exist. Let's hope.
Yeah.
I'm just checking the chat right here. Oh, yeah, we got a Randall Shakur about Siege. I've read it and thought it was pretty retarded. Yeah, I mean it's like 1,000 pages too. It's not a.
Somebody had said he spent half the book like complaining that nobody gives him money or something.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. I mean, that tells me it's real. That's a real review. But this is the thing, like a lot of these radical books, I think if it was a more important book, more people would quote it. I don't hear James Mason brought up. I don't see people tossing around quotes from Siege. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what can you be drawn from it? And so many of these works of radical literature, they just end up complaining about liberals for half of it. And if you've read one treatise against liberals, you've read them all, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's the atomization, it's the women, it's the feminism. Yeah, okay. Like this was in the Unabomber manifesto too. Half of that is complaining about fucking liberals. He doesn't really get into the technology and the environmentalism much. It's like complaining about bitches. And I'm like, we've all heard it. We've all probably said it too. What do we got here? This guy's like a 250 IQ genius, and he's like in the woods complaining about broads. I mean, that's fine by me. Anywho, Bill listens to Sean South is Dimes coded. I don't even know what that means. I don't think I want to know what that means. So I wanted to get to a couple things first. We're going to talk about the OneBC Party implosion. There's not even that much to say on it, really. But I wanted to just throw a couple of X conversations your way.
All right.
Actually, wait, before I do, just on the topic of food we were just discussing, I needed to ask you about something.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to blow up your spot here, but I saw an image in circulation, and you had shared it, and it was you taking a photo from your kitchen table in front of what looks to be a kerosene lamp.
Oh, yeah.
With your family playing Go Fish, and there's just a can of beans on the table.
It was not. It looked like a can of beans. It was not. It was a Costco, like 1 liter can of honeyed cashews.
Okay.
So
Can I tell you what
beans.
my memory is, though? And I think
Yeah,
this is
it was
more
beans.
important than
Yeah.
whatever it is. It was beans. Not only was it beans, it was hobo style, where the lid was off, but then clinging on by its fingernails just up to the side, right?
A little bit of drip, a little bit of the sauce
bit-
dripping. Yep.
Nice spoon there.
Yeah.
Tell you, brother, I've been thinking about those beans.
You can just fill that in and you've been thinking about those beans.
I've been thinking about those beans since I saw
Brock,
them.
can you chain these cashews to honey beans, please?
That's
Maybe.
much more patrician. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a nice family snack. But your power was out, I assume. What was happening there?
Oh yeah, we've lost power like 5 times in the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
It's never good, and there's no solution for it. You just got to keep like
No,
fucking
you just
candles
wait.
and shit.
You just wait. And you know they've got an app now where you can track where the outages are, and it really is just like the little inter-county area where I live. Everybody else is fucking fine. Towns on either side, fine. It's just me. It's just like 100 houses along this one corridor, so
I think I'd like my power to go out.
it's comfy. The kerosene is nice, but it starts to smell. I mean, it smells for like a day afterward after you do it. But
Tell you what, though, I'm starting 2026 off by being a giant faggot. That was a decision I made.
nice, excellent.
And so, thank you. And so, one thing. Thank you, Warren. But one thing I'm trying to do is get into candles.
Yep.
I'd like to get in some candles. I would like to be podcasting right now with some candles going.
All right.
Styx, Hex, and Hammer's been arrested. There's no one carrying the fucking weird goth pirate flame.
Yep.
Why not me?
Yeah. you
Why
got
not
the
get?
wings.
Yeah, you can get retarded candles. That could be very on brand. I get like a bunch of Catholic ones, right?
Yep.
In the glass. Then hey, here's Sonic the Hedgehog. Here's Bane. Here's fucking. Here's the Hat Man, the Benadryl Hat Man. I got that. That's what we should be making for merch.
The Benadryl hat man. That's a good idea.
Sex freakman guy who uses "I'm gonna get decapitated" as slang for getting drunk. Tell you what, I start the stream. First thing I see is where's Sex Freakman. They don't even care about us.
They just want comments from Sex Freakman. Yeah.
They want Ted LaFaro.
Look,
They
me
want Sex
too,
Freakman.
buddy. Ted LaFarue and Sex Freakman.
Oh, here we go. Mason's more some guy you kiss the ring on if you want to be the white nationalist guy. I wonder if that is the case. You know what I mean? Like still.
Yeah.
Because here's like other people, a lot of these guys will talk about each other, but like, I don't know anyone. I don't know Jared Taylor. I don't know David Duke. I don't know anyone who talks about Mason. Like they came up with him, and they're like,
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's just
It's like a
in the
rite of
cold.
passage. They keep this goblin guy in the basement, and you gotta go and give him a kiss if you want to join the gang. That's
Marriageable age, Bob. Marriageable age. Like he's defending marrying a 12-year-old fucking with his like just like no chin having face. You cannot goatee your way out of that because he's thinking he can get a goatee and create the illusion of a chin. You got to go full beard at that point. You need a Rasputin like beard. Anyway, so I'm gonna give you some shit here, and I want to get just your opinion, and I'm not trying to blow up anyone else's spot with this here. We got just a tweet here from Oren McIntyre. It's referencing this exchange here. Did you see this with our?
Yes. Okay, so I don't like these people, but this was a riot. This was really good.
I love this. Look, I have such like disgust hate relationship with the Collinses, but I think I saw this. I'm like, I think I like this guy. I like this guy because that woman. The more I'm used to seeing her face, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, but hey, whatever. But every time I zoom out and see more of her body, I'm like, just a train wreck of a tire. He's the only guy who's like dressed correctly, and she wears the same fucking thing.
Well, she is a neurotic Jew, like a LA Jew. So
that's a strange outfit to have like multiple of.
Oh yeah, she's nuts.
She looks like someone. She looks like she's pregnant there, but I would believe it if she's not.
Well, they said they want to have like 15 kids or something, right? So she's trying to be permanently pregnant. It's like her objective.
But you think she actually is? And it's just if she can't get pregnant, then she'll just be pregnant and
or like she has like a pregnancy lump that like a silicone one that she wears when she's not pregnant.
Yeah,
as like to show off.
I'm being mean to this woman. I bet.
Oh, she deserves it. It's fine. She's a dumb bitch.
It's okay. She deserves it.
It's okay.
So I just want to see here. All this is just a reminder that you will never get out of this problem until being a libtard is grounds to have you imprisoned. I believe that is the case, and we're going to watch this clip here just to give people the context what we're talking about.
You've said things like black women are biologically different than white women.
They yes, they have different fertility windows. They have a higher rate of fertility complications. 50%.
There's no scientific evidence to prove that.
I hate this bitch with it's like she's trying to dress like Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Like a very specific type of man. Like this is something a waspy upper class guy would dress at.
It's like you can't tell at a glance whether it's a sweater tied around the neck or a fleece vest. Yes. And both of them are bad, but somehow it's just straddling the line.
First of all, no one is dressed for the indoors in this. No one got any memo about what the attire is.
A black woman and a white woman are genetically different, right? This is like...
What are you talking
they are.
about?
According, no,
like literally, there are genes that code for their skin color. There are genes that...
Again, this is like government data. This is EMI, right? This is the National Institute of Health. This is the American Medical Association. Like, there is no scientific...
This bitch is just listing agencies. She doesn't know any of this, by the way. This is it's just the fucking head of science said it, and the chairman of genes. I think you can just look that up.
Evidence to prove that.
And that's a big problem, right? Because
there's no science.
Right there. That's what I love. Did you catch that? No. Okay. This woman, his wife, was about to run her mouth and bring shame to the family. And he did something, a classic guy move, a classic married father move, which is that he knows her rhythms, he knows what she's about to do, and he's got that fucking... like that broiling hate inside of him just towards life. It's a good hate to have, but the way he raised his hand there and said, just hold on a fucking minute. No, watch the hand. Watch him karate chop the air. That's a
and that's a big problem, right? Because
there's no scientific
and that's why
that where it's like she's about to like agree. She's like, no, shut up. We're staying on this. just shut up for a minute. That was
not
that.
Let her go.
That was the most normal I've ever seen him, and that's what got me on his side. That little karate chop of the air right there of shut up, bitch, for 5 minutes, please.
Things like IQ differences. Black people are genetically different from other populations.
And I'll say that again. There is at least there is no scientific evidence to prove that, right? And as people
No,
that
I'm sorry. I'm stating. Do you want to ask an AI if there's scientific evidence to prove that?
no, I want to ask.
because
This is
what you're
really
So we don't need to watch the whole thing. It goes on for a bit longer. I hated that where it's like, look, do you want to ask an AI? Because I don't think anyone, any real person should say
No.
that. Because you might as well say, let me Google it. Do you want
Yeah,
to
we're
look
back
at
to
it?
the type of comments which make me hate this guy in the first place. Yeah.
Do you want to ask an AI? Well, there's a lot of AIs. You don't want to ask any of them, right? But that's also not something you want to do live on the air. I've seen that go pear-shaped for people very fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's great for the viewers, but no, it's a stupid thing to suggest.
Anyway, point being that here's a sentiment that I saw from Orrin McIntyre. And again, nothing against Orrin McIntyre, but a lot of people were commenting on this, but who won, who lost, what does this mean, right? Where did Mr. Collins go wrong there? Because I liked his performance. I like it when a guy crashes out. I think it's a very human, very admirable thing to do. If you're in, I don't care what situation you're in, if a woman says something silly, you should uncork on her. And the calmer she gets, I don't know, meet that with more volume. I don't care. Like, make a preposterous statement shrink with volume. So anyway, but Orrin says the hard truth is that the reporter won the exchange. The lie at the heart of liberalism is the blank slate. The reporter may have an ideology that defies reality, but then so does the classical liberal. She wins because she holds the frame. She owns the null hypothesis. And I was going back and forth with this in the comments. We don't need to go into that, but I just wanted to ask you, what do you think of that? What do you think of that assessment first, before I give you my assessment?
I mean, I'm trying to find a way to be generous to Orrin. He's fucking flat wrong. Like, I can't even. I want, like, even if you want to meet him where he's at, we're talking about the frame, we're talking about null hypothesis. Okay, but your first sentence was the hard truth is that the reporter won this exchange. No, she didn't. No, she fucking didn't. I don't know. Like, we don't start adding on all of this other crazy abstract shit. She fucking lost.
Yeah.
She said a patently untrue thing, which is so stupid and it's so well known how untrue it is that anybody with two brain cells immediately piss themselves laughing at her.
And let me build on that for a
if
second.
If she walked in naked, it would be like she's immediately lost.
That, if she walked in naked, I tell you what, that would be must-see TV. But if I can just give you my assessment of it, and I will be charitable to Orrin's interpretation here, because what he's saying is that some people might not understand is holding the frame. That I recall that from like the old manosphere days. The null hypothesis. A lot of people might not know what that means. Basically, it's just the status quo. It's the system-approved message. It doesn't matter if the system-approved message is true. As long as you repeat it, you find strength in that. You can't lose if you're just adhering to the status quo. Now, there's a couple of things there. One, I think I might disagree with that in principle, because if that was the case, then nothing would ever change, really. Everything would remain far more static. And I think narratives change so much that they're susceptible to pushback and to critique. Otherwise, why are we doing anything? But secondly, I think more importantly, she was wrong. Yeah. And I mean wrong within the context of the frame, because I know what she wanted to say. What she wanted to say, and this is the mainstream sort of accepted science, it's that they will say, yes, there are genetic differences between people and groups. However, and I'm not saying I agree with this, but this is what they say. They'll say there's more genetic variance within one group than between them and another group. Right, and there's ways that they can explain that, which I don't think is true. But
even if, let's say that's true, that's a per capita error, right? It's a category error. You're saying, look, there's more variation. Like, that's not the fucking point. You're looking about an individual here and another individual in that same group versus another individual from another group. You're talking about individuals. We're talking about groups in aggregate. You put groups in aggregate and you average their traits. There are obvious differences. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even the same fucking discussion. So even if that were true, which it may be, but that doesn't fucking matter. You know what? You could just see, look, there's really no difference between whites and blacks, because there's much more difference between whites and blacks. There's more of a difference between a black person and a fucking clam than there is between a black and a white. Therefore, they're the same. It's the same argument. It makes no sense.
But that's why I think his reaction was correct, as the one I would do, which was just freak out. because
Yeah.
she's trying to say there's no
Yeah.
genetic difference. Like, that is preposterous. I'm going to treat it as if it's preposterous.
Yes.
And what does a man do when presented with something that wastes his time
Because the
and is flipping
conversation,
with the facts?
they want you to continue being amicable, friendly, take the high road. Like, why? This isn't even a conversation anymore. If you're going to come out with genetics isn't real, why? Like, to me, it would be like, okay, I'm going to insult you, I'm going to wave my arms around, and then this interview is fucking over. I'm taking my mic
Look at it
off
this
and I'm
way.
walking out.
The only way to win this discussion is to be a bully. So let's say he didn't raise his voice. Let's say he was very calm and collected, as Jared Taylor is a great example
Right,
of this.
right.
He never raises his voice. He's very erudite. He's very melodic with the way he talks. But what will happen is what happened in this interview, which is the interviewer knew she was wrong and tried to move past it. You need to drag them back into it to humiliate them. And even if you're doing that in a calm tone, it will be perceived as aggressive. There's no way out of this without being perceived as aggressive, is my point. So you might as well just make a big show of it. Make them feel small. Everyone thinks this is the HR way of doing things, that they'll try and sort of gentle parent you. I'm like, yes, I know that's very annoying and frustrating, but I got this one weird trick. Have you tried just yelling at a woman? And I'm only half joking when I say that they actually don't know what to do. Like, she was just trying to calm him down. He wouldn't be calmed down. I'm not trying to shellac this guy, of course, but I'm like, if more people just did this when they see a dumb, wrong thing, just start yelling at them, what are they going to do? It's like, well, I guess this interview's over. Is it? You're in my house. It's over when I say it's over. Where's your knives? I got a whole drawer full of them. You're in my this whole house is the shape of an octagon for a reason. Guess what? No one's leaving this house alive. Guess what? I'm gonna die here. What do you think's gonna happen to you? I invite Tucker over to my place. I lead with that. I'm wearing cow print pants. He knows he's in for something. He knows he's in for a bad time. But anyway, holding the frame. So on one hand, I'd say the frame was not held, or does the frame matter at all if you can just say a wrong thing? Do you know what it sounds like to me? It's like if someone were to say, actually, I think 18 million people died in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Does that hurt the frame? Because you're so eager to multiply and say, like, actually, there's no genetic differences. Actually, I don't know if there is sexes, like man, woman, what is that? I do think that has a poisoning effect on the frame itself due to its absurdity, and that's why I think those should be isolated and amplified. And I think that hurts. I accept that there is a frame, there's a mainstream consensus that is factually incorrect, but they can't even deny that genetics are real. So what does this mean? Like, now science.com has to comment on how this bitch is wrong. This fucking trans Gavin Newsom is wrong. I like that. And then what did he do wrong? How did he reaffirm their frame? I don't think he did. How do you do it? By being unreasonable? Good, be unreasonable. Fucking pull out a gun in an interview. I don't care. You don't need to fire it. Just have it there. It's a fucking interview. Who cares? This isn't real. None of this is real. Tucker Carlson's out there bringing the guy who blew Obama back for a second time, probably. Like, this is a fucking bullshit. We're talking to fucking maniacs now. I don't care. This is what we wanted to be in the entire time. Remember a long time ago when people had to show up in an interview with a tie? Now you can show up in an interview smoking cigarettes. You can just show up with a guitar and you don't know how to play. Just do it. It's fucking media's dying, and this is a real great death rattle to be inside of. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So just start yelling at dumb lib reporters, because they have to. There's a reason they're seeking out the Collinses, because more people care about them than this fucking like dumb cunt who went to school for this. By the way, she went to what school teaches at Juilliard? The music that they teach interviewing skills, probably. She went to fucking Juilliard on a 9-year degree.
She's the daughter of like the La Raza guy. Like, she literally just fell into this because she's in a media family.
She's just a daughter of a Mexican revolutionary who's
La Raza is like the Mexican TV channel or something.
Oh no, I think the La Raza, that's like a revolutionary movement that's called The Race.
Oh, is it?
That's kind of like.
I always thought it was like a fucking podcast or something. Oh yeah, shit, it is.
Yeah, La Raza, that's their ethno-nationalist movement.
Yeah, okay. So it's like she's one of them. It still makes it's still like she didn't get there on her merit, right?
I understand people will listen to this and say, "Oh, here comes Dimes again, giving bad advice. Just be insane." But I don't know. That's my bag.
Yeah, boy.
I just don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think the system was helped by this. Anyway, now there's another thing, and I'm, again, not trying to drag Oren McIntyre here, but I did find this an interesting thing. So you're hearing about what's happening with the Somalis, right?
Yeah, of course.
And there's every take has blossomed. We have let 1,000 million takes bloom. There's some good ones. I understand that. First of all, what do you think about the Somali thing? Just the bullet points.
I love it. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting people coming out of the woodwork saying that it's, these people and their entire families need to be sent back, and that the government officials involved should receive capital punishment, which is something that Elon reposted today. But aside from that, I do think it's a bit of a distraction, maybe from the Epstein files, maybe from some other things, but I'm glad it's happening. I don't think it's honestly of national consequence. I think they found something that our people will grab and hold on to like a dog with a bone, and they're happy that they've got us. And I hope that all of these Somalians go back. But I don't think the problem that we all had 6 months ago, if you think back, was Somalian daycares. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's something if it's made into something.
Right.
By which I mean a lot of people are trying to pull on this thread and say, well, what else does this reveal? It's the Somalis, but it's like how many other groups are doing the exact same thing, and how wide does this go, and who is culpable, because there's no way Somalis could come up with a single plan on their own.
It's structural. It's the Somalis, it's every other immigrant group, all of them, Indians, Chinese, all of them. And then it's the government at every level. So, like, are you going to get rid of everybody? Are we going to deport all immigrant groups and then, like, put 150,000 government employees in the oubliette? You're not gonna. So this is kind of theater. It's already theater. I think the outcome is going to be a lot of money in investigations, a lot of fuss, and maybe 50 or 60 people will go to prison and nobody gets deported. That's what's going to happen. And I wish that wouldn't happen. I do hate these people, and I do wish that they would all go back. But let's be honest, there's no precedent for any of that ever happening. It's a media circus currently is what it is.
There's only two good outcomes to this. One, I'm sure is happening, but what does it mean? And that would be that everyone becomes incrementally more racist.
Yes.
And everyone.
I like
so
that.
Yeah, that's happening. Okay. But what does that mean? Who cares, right? Especially if it's just to this specific group. They'll say, oh, look, even American blacks hate them. It's like, okay, well, yeah, sure. Now it's just, then it almost has a scapegoating component to it. And the second would be, and I don't think this is going to happen, but it would be a proof of concept for remigration. Because I think you're not going to have a better case study, a better opportunity to deport an entirety of one group rather than Somalis. Because with African Americans, you're not going to be able to do it. Indians, it's really difficult. But Somalis, they're like gypsies in Europe. Nobody likes them. They're globally stupid. I think they're the bottom of the IQ distribution. They're supremely arrogant despite this, and they're fucked up looking. They're ugly, so they're stupid, and they're ugly, and they're arrogant, which offends white sensibilities more than anything. If you're stupid and self-aware, we find that charming. We would rather you be that than a genius. But if you're stupid and arrogant, white people fucking hate that, because Somalis think they're better than everyone too. They think you are lesser than them. So I'm like, if you could deport 100% of a type of person, it would be this. And if we can't do that, then nothing's happening. So this would be the perfect test case for a remigration pilot program, because I actually think if you were to go to Minnesota, I bet 90% of the Somalis are in on it in some form or another. Like, they are operating as if they're just one mafia, an ethno-nationalist mafia. But so if you can't do that, then what are we doing here, right? But then, as you had said, this could very well be a distraction from other things, right?
I don't mean to say it's an op, like this is intentionally put on as a distraction. I guess my point And I do appreciate that this is happening. It is an important issue. It's just, it's one of these news cycle things where it's like suddenly this is in everyone's frame of mind, right? And nothing else is. Like, there are other things happening in the world right now. So,
Pac-Man Respector says, best use case for this is prosecuting Democratic Party operatives who are responsible for organizing migrant fraud. And that would be that if you take this and use it as cause to wage a larger war against the Democratic Party, which I think is interesting. And if you were to believe the likes of, let's say, just throw it over here, Curtis Yarvin, some people have been passing this along recently. He's published in Grey Mirror, The Situation and the Solution. This entire article is saying that the window for Trump to do anything really revolutionary or impressive has closed. There was a set amount of political capital he had, especially after the killing of Charlie Kirk. There's been many, even after he was shot, he could have done some wild shit and didn't. So, and Yarvin's saying what I think a lot of people have been saying, us included, even though we're not Americans, that now is the time for radical action. If you're not going to do radical action, then that's going to dissipate very quickly. And it did. And he's just saying, well, what's going to happen now? And the projection that everyone has from what I've seen is that, and I don't know if this is true because it's still a few years away really, but it's that if the Democratic and the liberals and the Democrats take power, that they are going to bring the hammer down on their opponents in unforeseen ways. They're going to make it so the Republican Party is utterly shattered, that people like us in America will be prosecuted. What do you think about that? Do you think that's because that's what everyone's afraid of? They're like, we need to make it so Trump can never not be president. That's what they've been saying. No, we need to make him an emperor or we are going to die. That's what they're saying. What's your take on that? I think that's what Yarvin's essentially saying too.
Yeah, it's largely, look, if you look at that reaction on a spectrum from it cannot happen at all, to it'll be so bad that it's all or nothing. We either are all going to die or Trump becomes God Emperor. It's definitely on the spectrum. It's definitely not going to not happen at all, right? Are we all going to die? No, not any more than the Democrats are all dying right now, because they said the same thing when Trump won the second time, right? That Trump was going to come and round them all up. Now, Trump is rounding them up to a certain extent, more than has ever been done in history. He is setting precedents in terms of lawfare against the Democrats right now. So I think it's reasonable to expect that a new precedent will be set against the Republicans with lawfare and with people just being rounded up and, assets confiscated. I don't see why not. I don't think we're all going to die, but yeah, you should expect that. And I welcome it, because I hope that the American empire collapses, and this is a great way, a little bit of acceleration. So that's okay.
As much as I have said about Curtis Yarvin in the past, I've said many negative things about him, and I'm sure many will be to come. I did like this, and I do believe this to be true. A regime change like a shark can't stop. It can't even pause. If it does X this week and blows everyone's mind, it needs to do 2X next week. Shock and awe is a drug. I don't think that's incorrect.
Yeah.
And I think he had the political capital to do some pretty big swings, and that might be done now. And so now everyone's afraid. Everyone's saying, what are we going to do? So all in all, that's why just bring this back to what I was just talking about. Minnesota, now would be the time to do a drastic radical action, something that's never been done before. But I'm not optimistic about that happening. And then so what? That's why I said the only two things I can see coming out of this are people get slightly more racist towards Somalis, not even Africans, because what they'll say is even Africans hate Somalis. It's those fucking genius Nigerians, right? That's
already happening.
The ones who are getting fucking 30-year-olds to take your grandmother's money through romance scams. Those
Somalis are uniquely stupid, and it's really easy for every other immigrant group to immediately realize which side their bread is buttered on and just say, "Oh yeah, those stinking bastards make the rest of us look bad." All right. Thanks.
Yeah. I hate to start the year off with a nothing ever happens. It is a nothing ever happens growing from the soil of I desperately want something to happen.
Well, it is happening. It's happening in fits and starts. This is a thing. This is a real thing that's happening. People are getting more racist. Trump is rounding people up, and when the Democrats inevitably win in 3 years, they're going to round a bunch of us up, and then the Republicans will probably win again. Like, it's fine. And then eventually we will all die, and we can
Eventually,
all pat
we'll all
ourselves
be in
on the back.
prison. We'll all be in prison, and we'll all be dead.
Which is what we wanted.
I've been
What is
running
it
on
that
that platform.
that Ted always says is the furthest right-wing position is that all white people should die? Or something?
That's I credit that to him. I don't know if he came up with it,
It's a Tedism.
but what I've seen, and we're bouncing all over the map here, but this is what happens when you take a week off. Everything's coming off the dome. I don't like, and I don't have any evidence of this pulled up right now, but maybe we'll see it as we're scrolling. I don't like white people calling ourselves goy.
No.
And I didn't like it years ago when we tried to make goy our nigga. You know what I mean? Like we're calling ourselves goy, especially if it's in sort of the white identitarian, white affirmative space. Calling ourselves goy as like maybe a dog whistle that were hip to Jewish influence. Okay, I thought it was weird. I just thought I didn't like doing that. I thought it reaffirmed position that I didn't like. I don't like that we're called goy. But then I'm seeing now something different, and that is a graduation of that, which is white people disparaging other white people by calling them goy cattle. So it'll be a white person that sees another white person doing something like getting excited about a Marvel movie or liking slop, AI slop, and they'll call them goy cattle, or you're such a fucking goy. And they'll say that, just not in a Jewish voice. It's just they're saying, and I've seen this be said before. I've actually seen people from that group say that the Jews are right about goys. I've seen that, and that's the sentiment I'm seeing having mutated.
Yeah,
it's
too far.
And these are far right white nationalist types saying that you people are fucking goys after all. I'm like, I don't know, I don't like this. It stinks, this whole fucking thing. And then it's getting worse and worse. I've been told by people that I like and respect, calm down, it's just a meme. I'm like, it was a meme before, but now it's a different type of meme. And I don't say meme just in a way that doesn't matter. Memes matter. Memes are a temperature check on what's being said. And so I'm like, it means something that we are reaffirming the Jewish frame, in my view, by saying that there is such a thing as a goy, and those goy deserve to be cattle, and those goy cattle deserve to be slaughtered. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's, I don't know, that's fucking yucky to me. What do you think?
No, I mean, you said everything there is to be said about it. I don't know. A line was crossed like 5 steps before that. That's the person that we're mocking with the Tedism about the furthest right position. So, no, that's gross.
Oh, sorry, I just got a comment here from Adam. James Mason touring Auschwitz is still up on Odyssey. I have to see that. I didn't know that was real. I didn't know James Mason was experimenting with different types of content. James Mason fucking cooking show. I mean, we got to get this guy on the Whatever podcast. Can you imagine? Everyone talks about, like, we need our own, fucking talent scouts and everything. I'm like, no, we have some of the best psychos in America. We just need to be plugging them into different types of shows. They need to get him on Tucker, get him on Red Scare, get him just in situations where he is everyone's deeply uncomfortable. This is for not even the audience, it's for me. But I'm looking at this here. It says from a guy named Bogbeef, who many people know. He runs a very successful show, popular guy. He says, I don't have anything specific to say about the Minnesota hustle because, well, it's all I've ever talked about. It's not waste, it's building power. If you do not take it away from your enemy, you're losing it. Even if the money fell from heaven, this story is, quote, real politics. Now, I think that's true to a point. He posts this image all the time, which I find frustrating. He's hashtag Patronagepill. That's his thing. We need patrons. We need people with money to give us money, and that's dumb.
This is dumb.
You're bearing the lead here. But look at this image here. Patron gives protection, money, access to client. You, who gives what? Loyalty, thanks, and allegiance.
It's called a job. It's called a fucking job. Hey, did you know that if you could get somebody to pay you, they'll give you money. They will literally give you money. All you gotta do is show up and say the lines and just do whatever they tell you. You just gotta do it, and they just give you money. It's crazy. It's just like a life hack.
Well, and so there's a couple things I want to build on this too. So Orrin McNair says Bog is one of the great political theorists of our day. Let's just I'm not trying to drag anyone here. The great political theory is that we should have a billionaire give us money. No one's talked about this. Machiavelli could only dream of a 21st century political theory, which is what we need free money, and the second thing we need is power. And watch this: if we had free money and power, then we could do whatever the fuck we want. This is where we're at. And I just, are we serious? Are we real? Are we real people right now?
I think we are.
What are we doing here? What are we fucking doing at this stage? This is my position. I've had academic agent fans. Academic agent, right? He's blocked me.
Yeah.
Here's a phrase I've seen a few times. Get ready for this. Here's another political theory. Power is power. So let's just let that sink in. They'll say that as if it's a kill shot, a linguistic kill shot. Power is power.
Damn, son, where'd you find
Non-stop ass rape!
And what do you do with that information? Like this, we've gone two-dimensional.
I mean, it's not information. That one specifically is like the definition of a tautology. There's nothing there.
So I wanted to say, and we've talked about this before, that this model tends to be very reductive. Let me just see what Orange says. Somalis in Minnesota are doing real politics with your abstract principles and creeds. You're doing fake politics. They take your stuff and they win. Okay, just to address that really quick. Both of you are also not doing politics. Both of you are doing theory. Oren, you host a show on the fucking Blaze. Bogbeef, you're a guy on X. Both of you are theory guys.
Yeah.
None of you are doing anything other than theory. It's just that your theory is get money and get bitches, right? Okay, I get that. It is true that the Somalis are doing real politics in the sense that they're extracting money from a system that they are hostile to and sending it overseas to Al-Shabaab or whoever might be. Understood. But also, we could also do that, and there are people that do that. But I also don't think that's a political theory. So let's just address this image here and what we've mentioned on the show before. I think this is very important. It's that this is very popular with Substack guys. But I don't think they're prepared for the real patron-client relationship, because protection, money, and access, those are very valuable things. Those are highly sought after. You know what's not highly sought after from a patron is loyalty, thanks, ass pats, and allegiance.
Yeah.
So this is a transaction, yes. What do the billionaires or millionaires, high-level millionaires, whoever, what do they actually get out of it? You might think they want loyalty, but loyalty to do what? Because if there's one thing that we know about these billionaires, these tycoons, whoever it might be, highly influential men of means, is they understand investments. They understand return on investment. So the idea is they can. This is what Peter Thiel does. Everyone knows we have a guy like that. We have our own George Soros. His name is Peter Thiel, and we hate him. So why do we hate him? Because we understand that when you take Peter Thiel's money, he's not just investing you because you did a cool thing. A lot of people, in my opinion, believe that's what it is, that I'm doing a cool thing. And it's popular, so a guy should show up and give me money. But really what it is they will identify you as an influential person or group, and they will give you money to make you a node of their control. To launder their ideas or their agenda. And you might say, but what if our agendas align? That would be really serendipitous. That would be so fucking lucky. But does that ever really happen? Maybe there's some Christian nationalist examples, but I bet not. Because they wouldn't need to do it this way if that were the case. Because they wouldn't need to buy people up, effectively turn them into slaves, control them, and have them at some point down the road say, hey, maybe you should ignore this narrative. Maybe I'd like to see you mention this after they've gotten you used to that lifestyle. This happens all the time with journalists, by the way. This is like the Christopher Rufo types. Have you ever seen a guy who's popular on social media and you don't know what the fuck he does for money? All you know is that once a year they write for the Atlantic or something. They get a couple op-ed pieces. You're like, that's not enough to make $100,000 a year, which is that what they need to make to support their life. Where's this money coming from? It's usually a patron. They love buying journalists. They love buying influential people. They love buying artists because that's from a world they can't understand. But I don't think you're ready to become that node of control if you think that there's not going to be a transaction in that regard. So all I was saying to people was, don't be seeking out the pocket of a billionaire so eagerly. They're probably playing a game that you're not playing. I don't think any of these motherfuckers with their cool X posts are ready to be bought by these motherfuckers. It happens all the time. And you see these people utterly destroyed. And I'll tell you what broke my heart. I had my heart broken this week by a guy that okay, so I had my heart broken by a man.
Clip it!
There's a friend of ours of the show, I won't say his name, but we were talking about this. And he had said that a cataclysm is coming in a society. It's unavoidable. And we're entering feudal circumstances. And it's either you select which lord you want to be your patron or you get swallowed up. And then he had said, I'm going to paraphrase it here. He had said something along the lines of, it's either get raped or choose who you want to fuck in the new paradigm, in the new power structure. And you got your important people. Just who do you want to be a node of control for? And I said, it saddens me that you say that. And he's a young man, and he's a guy who's on our side, and he understands, he's a listener even. And I said, it pains me that a young man feels that it's a choice between being raped or being raped and liking it. Being raped and becoming like a prison bitch, which is basically what it is. Because like, what if the spread of options for your influence is over here, you have Peter Thiel, who is a fucking gay, insane, transhumanist Jew. And over here, you've got a fucking, decrepit, but more anti-immigrant Jew. And then right down the middle, you got a Jew who's a Zionist, but he's not gay, and he's not a degenerate. So you can choose between three types of corrupt Jews. And you're thinking the only smart decision is to pick the one that aligns more to your interests. I think there's only one wrong answer there, and that's selecting any of them. And what does that mean? What should you do? Well, I'm not here to tell you that right now, because I think those answers will get me in trouble. But I don't think I'm not going to play this game of rape roulette. And I don't think anyone should feel that they have to. I think there's still opportunity. I still think there's a range of movement we can do. I don't think it's that far gone yet. And so when I hear people talk about patronage, just like be pragmatic, I just think that's a type of pragmatism that got us to where we are today. You know what I mean? And then those golden handcuffs start to tighten real fast. And so I don't think this is real fucking politics. I think it's a bunch of people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, thinking they understand real politics, telling us, you don't know what you're doing. You're doing too much theory. We should be more like these. Okay, go rob a fucking bank. Oh, you won't? You just want to talk online? Yeah. How about you shut the fuck up? How about you all shut the fuck up and do something? Do a single fucking thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Should I get a job with Glenn fucking Beck too? Should I start another fucking Patreon show? Like, what's anyone doing? Call me when you're doing a fucking thing. This
is the advocate for yourself argument again, where people are not like, everyone wants to be a smart guy, be a strategist, and say, oh, but parties A and B, both of whom are my enemy, are fighting. Which one of them should I ally with in order to win the political game? And it's like, how about you just advocate for yourself, right? Like, are you going to choose the Zionist conservatives, or are you going to choose the immigrant group? Like, which one of them is like, why not neither? Why not, like, are you going to choose the Palestinians or the Israelis? Which one of them is the better play? Should I be really pro-Israel because I hate Browns, or should I be really pro-Palestine because I hate Jews? Like, how about neither? Like, advocate for yourself, man. Stop trying to be fucking cute, because like you said, you're admitting that you're defeated. You're admitting that rape is baked in already and you don't have a future, which we don't believe is true. So, and it's not, because it's not fucking true.
I'm just looking at the comments right here. I like this one here. And this is what I said to our friend. He said, I'm of the opinion that people need to ask, what do I really want before they start seeking a patron? And this is an important comment, because I think a lot of people are playing a political game. They're strategizing, but it's so far removed from, wait, what do I actually want? And they haven't articulated it to themselves. So they don't even know. And the discussion had gone in a direction, of course, where Hitler was brought up, and someone said, what we need is like Hitler 2.0. And someone, a friend of ours, B, had said, well, would you even recognize a Hitler 2.0 when he showed up? And I said, there it is, precisely. Because every great man in history, and including Genghis Khan, including Napoleon, whoever it may be, they were singular. And this is my reading of history anyway, that they were unprecedented. No one saw Hitler coming. Fuck, no one saw Trump coming, and even if you don't like Trump, of course, but these people, they don't remind you of a leader from the past. So one of the problems is we're looking to the re-arrival of a leader from the past, almost like the return of Christ. He might not appear to be the Christ that you were expecting, but that's kind of the point. So what would be the great man called to occupy the zone of proximate sovereignty called forth from the people, in maybe a de Maistre type assessment there, but it probably wouldn't have the qualitative aspects of the great leaders that you like, and I think that's important. So because you're trying to think pragmatically about what can we do to call that specific fantasy man forth. I'm like, that ain't it. I think all you can do, if you're waiting for the philosopher king and the philosopher king has not arrived, all you can do is help create the circumstances to call him forth. And that won't be voting, won't be, acting like you've already got him. That's actually how you get the Antichrist, by the way, guys. I know I'm mixing theologies here, but one of the things is that the Antichrist is able to achieve power because everyone thinks that he is Christ, and he fits this sort of, this prior misunderstanding of what Christ is. It's not singular. It's a simulacrum. It's fake. You know what I mean? So it's like you fall for the fake expectation being delivered by a nefarious force, a malevolent force, Satan, whoever it might be. So in that sense, you think you're picking the most pragmatic choice for leader, but you're just making a deal with the devil. And I'm telling you, it leads you straight to hell. So if you don't find that singular leader, then don't think you just need to throw in with the first fucking fiefdom that you found, because, I just think getting comfortable with the rape isn't the way out of it. And I'm not mentioning this person's name because I like this person, and I think he was speaking from the heart. I think he was speaking in a way where a lot of people feel very defeated right now, and they're just trying to survive. And that's why I'm not trying to just drag them through the mud, but I'm trying to, in some sense, it sounds less optimistic than it is. But what do you think about all that?
Look, you want to feel defeated, be defeated. Go and kill yourself. Like, no, just drop out, man. Go do your job, spend time with your family, go do something else. Just get out of politics. But if you really, not that, again, like you said, most of these people aren't in politics. We're not in fucking politics. We talk on the internet. But like, if you think that this is too much for you and you feel like everything is hopeless, then just stop and just go and do a real thing. But what you're actually advocating, not only are you saying that you are going to fall in with one of our enemies, because the only choice is to fall in with one of our enemies or die, but you are advocating that other people in our group should fall in with our enemies. It kind of makes you one of our enemies, though. Do you see that? Do you see what you did there? You notice that what you just did? So don't. I mean, if you really do believe what you believe, and you really feel like there's no future, then it's the apocalypse. Go and spend some time at home, buy yourself a treat, play a video game, just get out of it.
Yeah, I think men of action are called to action, and if you haven't felt the call to action yet, and you'll know if you felt the call to action, then that's fine. You can go do something else, but I'm not interested in people who want to theorize about what men of action might think or do, or these very reductive theories about what we need is power. if we just had that, then we could actually do things. You realize that we talk about everything like fucking retards now. You can, if we have power, you can do things. Okay. Thank you. Are we? We're men. We're men. We're grown men. We're men with families, and we're talking like fucking a propaganda poster from a Valve game or something. Like, men with power do things. Cool. Okay. Thank you. That's something I should hinge my online reputation on for years and years. Fucking. Anyway. Any fucking way. You want to see a manifestation of this? Because we better get to this. We're not going to get to review the video I want to watch. But did you hear about this thing with the OneBC Party?
I did. This one I got, yeah.
Okay. You can give me the assessment. I got to this late because I wanted to let it simmer for a bit. But what's happening here?
There's an American brown guy who somehow got involved with OneBC, who is a dissident right anti-Semitic, but he's an anti-Semite, sorry. But he's an American brown guy. And Claypool and Brody are Zionists and were mad about it. So the party split over Claypool and Brody on one side, who are like, we can't have any anti-Semitism.
I got some images of these people too, by the way.
And then the weird Lebanese American, I guess he's not technically a Muslim, but he's not fucking Canadian. He's not Canadian. He's a fucking brown American. Hates Jews. Cool. Love him. I mean, a lot of liberals hate Jews too. I don't really care. But apparently that's what all this split was over, which is just hilarious. It's just typical provincial politics.
I mean, you really said it all. So we're going to let that sit for a minute. Let's figure out together what is wrong with this head. This is a Claypool you're talking about. Yeah. So just people understand, I'm not trying to just bully for the sake of bullying. This man, Baptist, Zionist, neocon. Just to say
in his
that.
Twitter bio, yeah.
So what's going on here with his head?
He's a bit character like a patsy on like season 2 of Frasier. Like
look at this.
He shows up just so you can beat him up.
He's got. I don't know how to describe this. It's like if you took one of these mulatto guys, but you actually just made his face perfectly white skin. There's something about his head that looks Eastern.
Well, his jaw sticks out, his eyes are far apart, and he's got really curly hair, like uncommonly curly hair.
I can't prove it, but this is a man from the dark continent. I can't explain it. There's something with his. He's got a Somali head.
I don't like it.
Are we being real?
He's got fucking Somali skull, man.
This man is a Somali from the brow up, and I don't mind telling you.
Imagine him without the glasses. Brock, can we get a picture with no glasses? Can we get a picture with no glasses and just like give him a T-shirt?
Sean Wild says, looks like a black guy in white face.
Yeah.
Suspiciously Somali looking. I mean, really. Because if you were Somali and you were trying to be as Somali as less as... What the fuck am I saying? I'm having a stroke. You'd say like all the white things you could. Yeah, I'm a vinyl collector too.
We get into it. We split a lot of hairs because we're in the arena here being assholes. I've listened to a lot of Wyatt's stuff. I don't actually hate him as a guy. I mean, if you look at the whole world on a spectrum, he's on our side, right? But he's a faggot. He's a fucking Zionist. And he's a
this is how we treat our friends.
He's got bad hair. I'll let him into the ethno state, but I'm gonna bully him a little bit. We're not gonna be nice to him.
You're not on the distant right until Judas calls you a faggot. He's done it to me. That's how I know I'm in good standing. But I just wanted to throw that out there just to give. There's some images here. I got a whole bunch of examples lined up with OneBC. So this was what was reported on. Looking at CP24 right now, and I don't know what. All I knew is when I was young, one day this thing called CP24 showed up. I don't know what it stands for. British Columbia legislator Dally Brody, whose OneBC Party has removed her as leader, says the split happened after colleagues tried to stop her from firing a caucus staffer whose views on Jewish people were disgusting and anti-Semitic. She wanted the man removed because she is not a neo-Nazi. It was obscene to think that the young man's views could be in the party. And then we're just throwing it to here. I'm looking at Awaken the Lion's Roar, who's a pretty popular Canadian on this platform. You're seeing a trend of Zionism from Brody, Dallas Brody, her unwavering support of the state of Israel. There, won't need to go into that. There's Wyatt Claypool, of course, Zionist. A third person here, Masha Kleiner. That's a lot. Honestly, look how much Jew can you fit into one bio. First of all, you have that face, you got that name. Jewish, she says, Jewish, Israeli, Canadian, Zionist. Writer's already like
Halfway
pretty Jewish on
Jewish,
something.
yeah.
So yeah, that might be the most Jewish woman you've ever seen. And then Tim Thielman, I don't know, the 22-year-old staffer that Dallas fired and publicly branded a neo-Nazi, in this video is in fact a Zionist who has been attacked online for loving Israel. I don't know if that's true. Could I believe it if every single person involved in this story is a Zionist? Would that be believable? Yes. So Bill Wilson here, in reference to why it's the mulatto from The Sopranos. I'm telling you, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, the kid. Oh man, the art school kid.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who else I was thinking of, and this will not help my standing at all. You know those films, Now You See Me? They're the cool magic action movies.
I mean, cool is a stretch, but yeah.
No, I'm not saying they're cool. They're the dumbest movies that you'll ever see.
Oh, okay, right.
But it is such a fun. Someone was tasked with that. It's like, we want to do a heist movie where it's going to be magicians, and they said fuck you. They said we're going to give you a lot of money, and they still said fuck you. And then they said we're going to give your family the antidote if you write it. And he said okay. You know what I mean? But they really try and sell that magic is cool. I just saw the third one the other day, and it gets so much worse. I didn't finish it. I don't know why I was watching it, but there's like this guy in it who's one of the young mulatto guys you see in everything. Just if you had to think of an example of the bad end to humanity, what everyone would look like in 100 years or something, it's him. He's this kind of nerdy, brown, black, but very light-skinned, but all his features look fucked up. It's like when you see a black guy with a black father and like a redhead mother, white redhead mother.
Yeah.
That is not good.
It's bad.
Nothing good. Like a black person with freckles. It's an abomination. And no one likes that.
Yep.
You need to be the hardest nigga on the block if you're that guy. Yep. You can only go to jail if you're that black guy. Yep. So anyway, we got that here. And then there's a bunch of takes. Let's see some takes here. The so-called woke right, and it should be noted that the so-called is him, because people like this say woke right, is the product of foreign-funded psyop intended to divide Western populist movements.
Man, come on.
We will know the woke by the fruits.
We taught you all of those phrases. Like, we taught you the phrase woke 10 years ago, and then we taught you the phrase psyop 5 years ago. You just got here, you fucking boomer. Like...
This guy here, me party died in the holly. That's such a good, whatever we can say about 2025. I like that we ended with that.
Yeah,
me parents died in the holy. Like, everyone's been clowning on that. You get liberals laughing at that shit. Yeah. They're collectivist, totalitarian, and Marxist. There's absolutely nothing right-wing about them, is what they're saying about this. I think Greg Wycliffe had an interesting thing here. I'm trying to just find the clip. I might have lost it, actually. He was basically saying that everyone involved is a Zionist. They were involved in a debate today, Greg Wycliffe and Daniel Tyree, between them and some Zionists. I don't know exactly who these people are. I got Daniel Tyree, Jeff Evely. This guy, I believe, is Jewish. That was just who we were looking at there before. I'm calling him the woke right. He was on this debate. Let's just see it here.
Yeah.
It's known that the chief of staff at the time, right before the party exploded, Wyatt Claypool, he's an open Zionist. There's another Zionist. And it's like, okay, so Zionism, is that not ethno-nationalism for a foreign country in Israel? So it's like OneBC is allowed to be an ethno-nationalist for a foreign country, but you can't be an ethno-nationalist for Canada, where you live, where your political party operates. Isn't that kind of weird?
Okay, so I remember that post because I had Daniel Brody on right before.
I want to hear Jeff's response to that.
Yeah, I'm sending it to Jeff right now.
Well,
because I remember that. Yeah.
I guess it all depends on whether you believe the Holocaust happened or not.
You could not resist.
I mean, that
I get to. We would not do well in a debate like this.
No,
it's a good
no,
thing
no,
we don't
no,
get
no.
invited to this shit. Well, it depends if you believe in like it's just and we're allowed to be at the nationalists because of the Holocaust. Like,
as soon as he says that too, Greg just starts talking over him and laughing. Like he's kind of having the same response I would have. It's like, no, it's like the thing earlier about the, black women and white women are the same genetically. Like you can't say that and then treat this like it's a serious conversation. Still, come on.
Because I know the guys on our side who go to these debates, there's certain things they can't say. They probably wouldn't want to be attached to that. But whenever I hear something like that, I'm zooming in to the right there and trying to look in their eyes just to see if I can detect them screaming in their heads when they hear something like that. Like we would be at Thanksgiving dinner when they hear like, oh, I heard like maybe 8 million people died in the Holocaust. Just you clasping your hands, going, So I'm trying to see who on this panel is screaming internally. But yeah, I've never heard of this guy before.
What?
Yeah, that.
What do you?
I think we shifted gears quickly there, Jeff. I'm not sure if that's what he was saying.
Well, I think what I'm saying is the reason
You ran out of cards, eh?
How would you feel if you didn't have Holocaust this morning? So that is a good question to follow up. It's like, okay, I'm not saying the Holocaust didn't happen. How would you feel if the Holocaust didn't happen? I don't think they've ever been asked that. So would Israel have less of a right to exist? Yes or no? Like, put it back on them because they're trying to get you in a quagmire of Holocaust revision. He's like, no, I don't think the Holocaust didn't happen. I love the Holocaust.
Gotcha.
There was that one great Sarah Silverman joke where I forget the exact setup, but she was trying to get out of something and she wanted it to seem like she's racist. So she wore a shirt that said, "I hate chinks." And she saw the light and changed her mind. She's like, "I can't wear that. I love chinks." Like, okay, lady. You're all right for the next 5 minutes. Pac-Man, what if you didn't clip coins this morning? So yeah, basically Zionism has become the main issue there. Let me just share this here too. So here's another guy, Daniel Boardman. I don't know exactly where he's from, but it says this. So we're getting called the woke right. Now we're also getting called groypers. So this is why Canada's groyper movement is so toxic to the right. Dallas Brody and OneBC have a maximalist immigration policy. And this is why OneBC was so exciting to people for so long, because they were a further right party. They seemed to have some promise. They seemed to be, very strong on anti-migration, but they were not going to the extent of remigration. Okay. So, but they have a maximalist immigration policy. As a provincial party, they want to take control of immigration away from the federal government. This is still party policy. However, the Dominion Society and their band of political illiterates want remigration, where if you listen to them, is just getting rid of all the non-white people who are here. And this is the individual who got in trouble at the party, who's pushing anti-Semitic rhetoric, but I think more than anything, he was a fan of the Dominion Society, a fan of Diagolon, and a fan of some of our best friends, of course. They didn't mention if he was a paywall subscriber to Blood Satellite, but perhaps. Legally immigrated here, gone. But Daniel isn't immigration reform on the number one issue. No, they're self-righteous political arsonists. So they need to take a stand against people further on our side of things by saying OneBC, that's the serious party. This is the grown-ups. These are the ones who should be allowed to do it. It just so happens that they're Zionists, and this is part of a larger movement we've been describing since Christ last year, probably the year before that you're seeing open Zionists, and if not open Zionists, then Jews elbow their way to the front of the remigration, or not remigration, but anti-mass migration conversation. And they're trying to control that. Now, I'm not saying that there's a memo sent out or marching orders sent down, but that just seems to be the case every time there's a system-approved, legitimate narrative against mass migration. it seems to go hand in glove with Zionism or Jewish interests. And when you have something emergent, something organic, like the remigration movement, which has been gathering force throughout the world in many European countries, that becomes their number one priority, is to silence that. And so I'm happy to see OneBC start to collapse in that sense. And I'm wondering, as we were talking about, political, radicalism and what radicalism can be leveraged, I think this is as safe and mainstream as you can get, because I think it takes something like the remigration movement to delegitimize these pressure release valves.
Yeah.
Because it is embarrassing. Like a guy like Wyatt Claypool, like you're not. All you guys seem compromised. All you guys seem bought. You all seem weakened.
Yeah.
You seem shriveled. Whereas there's a vitality in this other thing. There's a singularity of focus. There's a laser precision in what these groups want to accomplish, and they're clear about it, and it is cooler, and it is more interesting, and it is funnier, and it's something that looks better on a poster. It's something that looks better on a shirt. It doesn't need, a lot of these other, like the OneBC, it is a leftist meme. It is too verbose, it's too complicated, it's too stuffy. Whereas everything on our side, our political policy positions and our agenda, is crystal clear, and it's smooth, and it's run by ambitious maniacs like us, Yeah. And it's not built. It's built for action. It's built not just to be a compromise. It's not a legal contraption. OneBC is a legal political contraption. It's something that's very complex, and there's wires coming out of it, and there's gears that don't work properly because it's purpose-built to fit in this fucked up system. So when you have a perfect streamlined movement, it'll seem extraterrestrial. Like, how does this work with existing politics? It doesn't. It cuts through it. That's what it's supposed to fucking do. It's to slice through all this bullshit. And that's why, it just seems that we're taking wins. It seems to me like we're taking wins.
Yeah.
Am I deluded? What do you think?
No, we are. I mean, that's why they're here, all trying to get a piece of our pie, but they can't even replicate what we're doing, because what we're doing is organic. They're still playing by the rule book from 15, 20 years ago. So yeah, this is like I was saying earlier. The guys who are getting upset, like, oh, all you can do, you're going to be raped one way or the other. No, we're not. We're fucking winning. Most of the problems we have right now are winners' problems. The problems that happen when you win 3 rounds in a row, and now everybody's on your ass. Yeah, because we're fucking winning, dude.
So I got Randall Sugar. Can I state I'm starting to really dislike everyone who talks smack about Nick Fuentes, yet refuses to drag him on their shows to ask the questions they think should be asked? Just such woman behavior. I will say I have had dialogues with Groypers before. I was on a couple of X spaces in the past where we might call them proxies for Nick Fuentes were pleading their case for America First, and I was pleading my case, which was counter that. So, I mean, I don't think Nick Fuentes would come on this show. No. So, I mean,
no way.
I have been in dialogue with other Groypers, and I don't think he's interested in that. It's not big. It's like, let's be honest, it's not big enough. Obviously, like he wouldn't spend time doing it. Like I might be able to get Beardson Beardley, or one of the lower level guys, but even then, probably not. So, it's not for lack of will, I suppose. I don't know. Was I talking about Nick or what was going on there? I don't know why you said that.
We talk about him all the time. I don't know. I fucking mock him all the time. Look, you look at the Candace Owens interview and look at what he's done lately. He goes on interviews and he says completely different shit from what he normally says. He waters everything down. He's completely slippery. And then he goes on his stream 18 hours later and does damage control and spins everything that he said.
Okay, so we got a question here. Wonder who's running with Nick these days? That's a good question. Would you like to see who's running with Nick,
yes,
Judas?
I would.
It's this guy named Clavicular. So, if we had the time, we would go deep into this guy. This guy's great. So I believe he's 19 years old. I watched a couple of those internet documentaries about him, tracing his posting career up to this point. So this is a young guy from a very well-off family. Rich parents, went to a private school, was just a total burnout in school, and he's a Zoomer, young guy, and so he was raised on the internet and raised in internet culture, and so he was raised around Giga Chad and looks maxing. And you remember mewing and mogging and all that stuff. And so he's a looks maxer. So just to describe it more, this was not an unconventionally looking guy. Like, this was a conventionally attractive looking young man, in my opinion. Like, he was in shape and all that shit, but he seemed to experience something like body dysmorphia. I'm not saying he's trans, but what I am saying is that I love this comment here from Dave Green, who called him the first male-to-male transsexual. That is one of the funniest things I've read in a while.
Nice.
And had some people trying to, poke holes in that and say, "Oh, what, you think he's actually trans?" No. It's just a joke. But this is a guy. If you look into him, Nick Fuentes had him on a show and was interviewing him favorably or meeting with him. This is a young guy who, from like in high school, was taking back alley testosterone, was on bodybuilding forums talking about his crippling social anxiety and how he can't talk to anyone unless he's
This guy
drunk.
fucking sucks. I hate
He's
this guy.
he's getting plastic surgery.
This guy sucks so bad.
He's and this is like the guy Groypers are obsessed with right now. Like, no, this is how you do it. It's like, it's not even, because they say doing anything for women is for simping, so which is okay, sure. Like, we make fun, but
gay.
Trying to looks max like this,
So that
while
the boys
also
think that you're cute.
but just for the boys, you know what I mean? Like, what's this
Who are
for? 'Cause
gay.
He doesn't want to work a job. Because here's the thing:
He doesn't need. He's a fucking rich Zoomer. He's first of all, he's 19, so his quote unquote career is the last 12 months. Let's be fucking honest, right? And he's independently wealthy because his family is paying for all of this shit. I don't know why people look. I'm sorry. I know it's a fucking Zoomer thing. Why do people follow guys like this? I don't know. I'm not gonna get into the whole fucking thing.
But
this
no.
guy, this guy should go in the fucking wood chipper. This is a wood chipper guy.
But it's funny because there's truth to the claim that if you are attractive, I think life is generally easier for you.
Yes.
And here's the thing: the definition of what's conventionally attractive probably differs. Men and women have a different opinion on what an attractive man looks like. Because you ask any man, he's going to tell you Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 80s is like peak male aesthetics, but women might not think that. They're into like bookish serial killer handsome. They're handsome, but they're like kind of meek, and it's weird. Whatever. So we don't have a consensus on what attractive is, but we all know what ugly is. So go ask an ugly person if they think life is easier for an attractive person, right? So, hey, fair enough. If you can look better, maybe you should try. But let's just listen to this guy speak for a moment, so people can hear him.
So right now, I am infertile, but I'm not able to have a kid right now. But if I wanted to, there's a protocol I can put in place that'd be immediately going to get.
Wait, why are you infertile right now?
So it's just like a negative feedback loop when you're not needing to produce testosterone anymore because your body realizes, okay, we're getting it from an exogenous.
So you're not producing
source.
any testosterone naturally?
No.
None?
No.
You're gay.
So he had to start. He had to start taking dick pills because his penis actually stopped working from all the back alley testosterone he was taking. Like, this guy's ravaged his body with pills and shit. So of course, this fucking freak, this fucking degenerate psycho is who Groypers are like. No, this guy. This is the guy. We're happy he's here. Because Nick Fuentes, I don't think there's been a single person in his inner circle that wasn't a degenerate freak.
They all
let's
are.
look at the history.
Without exception. Every
This
one
is the
of
guy
them.
who had Ethan Ralph. Like a man who is out. He is the liquor. You had Milo Yiannopoulos. You had Sneeko. Like, you just had all these dysgenic losers as like your most loyal, trusted guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, it would be different if you had a single non-insane retard working for you. So anyway, it's just at this stage in the game, even though things are going very, very well for Nick, hey, I'll have him on the show if he wants. I don't fucking care. Put it out there, whoever said that. Put it out there. We'll have him on the show. We got a lot to say. We'll send him some clips. I don't know, but I here's the funny thing. I've had a couple of former Groypers message me who are fans of both of our shows. There's a lot of Groyper fans that we have who tolerate these sections, and they'd said, look, man, I always hated when you mentioned Nick Fuentes, and I didn't think you were right, but something happened recently with this clavicular guy. I thought it was weird, and these groypers turned on me and started coming at me just for because they're in a cult of personality. You understand? So you can't go against whatever Nick is doing. So there's been a lot of people who've peeled off because of this, and I got the messages saying that, hey man, I think you were right. You know what I say to that? All those motherfuckers who came around, I say, I'm happy for you. I'm happy. I'm not gonna say anything else other than, you know what, good for you. Have a great life. I hope you don't do it again. You know, I'm not here to make anyone feel stupid. I'm not here to make anyone feel like they must atone for anything. Like, if you wake up to what's going on, good for you. And that's it. I don't even think I had anything to do with it. You did that for yourself. Good for you.
All right.
Best of luck is what I'll say to those people. I know you probably have a few things to say to those people, but
yeah, I mean, they all know what I'd say, so that's fine. But I mean, look, people want to say they're wrong and apologize. Whatever, I'm fine. Who cares?
People are quoting Kino Casino in the chat. Oh, hey, does your body produce testosterone when it realizes it's gay? You know what? That's actually an interesting question. And I bet there's a book written about that, published by like Antelope Hill or something, about what happens when a man becomes a sodomite. The body turns it into a woman or some shit like that. I bet, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, testosterone. I don't know, man. You start losing it as you get older, and then you start taking it, and then I knew a guy, man. This is so funny. I knew I'm not trying to out anyone here, but I knew a pretty not diminutive, but like an Asian man who was taking testosterone. You got to see this. You got to see kind of like a middle-aged Chinese guy when he's taking testosterone, because you get furious. You get fucking, like, it has the effect, and he's taking steroids too. So he's got testosterone and roid rage, but you've never seen a Chinese guy do that until you do. And it's something special. Like, just lashing out and screaming and like freaking out and going and showing up shirtless, like going on a Zoom call shirtless. I think you're just driven to... It's such a funny thing to do, just to be as a guy. I think your bank account reaches a certain level, and you're like, yeah, like Elon Musk. Yeah, I'm gonna start taking fucking human growth hormones and fucking testosterone and shit, and just go insane, turn into a fucking gorilla.
It'd be cool if Elon did it, just because it'd be fun to watch the crash out and the destruction of the empire. But yeah, regular dudes, it's just sad. I mean, it's like your buddy is on meth or something. Like, we can laugh about meth, but it's funny, but it's not really funny. Like, it kills you and it ruins you. And the same thing with the fucking you're not a fucking UFC fighter, dude. You're just a random guy. Nobody gives a fuck about your
sex freak, man. I thought Asian roid rage was just Yukio Mishima. That's a good one. I'm going to tell you this. That's a good one.
Is that a Groiper thing too? The Mishima? I never understood the worship.
Mishima's been around
of a gay Japanese man.
I think there's always been an interest in this space of finding fascist voices from different cultures. Yeah. So everyone loves their Hitler, of course, but if you could, then they like Mussolini. Then they find, so Mishima represented, and people like Japan, even though they're white supremacists, but you still kind of like Japan. So here's a guy who's pretty fascist.
Wouldn't like most Japanese guys from like the 1950s be fascist? Why did you have to find the one who was like a weird twink and a Madonna? Like, why did
they like him? And I don't like Mishima, and I've been very clear on that. But they look at him and say, here's a guy who affirms violence, who affirms, and he did not really partake in that. He was a draft dodger in Japan. He was a very cowardly man. But if you just read his stuff, you're like, oh, this is a pro-violence, pro-fitness, sun and steel. I like all that stuff. But a lot of people will just take it at face value. And we've talked about Mishima before.
He writes cool stuff, but he's actually like a fucking weird freak and a fat, like a lot of other people we know.
Yeah, he was in shape, but and like he was like ripped.
I know. I was talking about somebody else.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, he was infamous for like working out a lot, but just kind of hanging out at home, because he was a writer too. Of course, people like his plays and whatnot. But he was he had a fucked up life. Like, he was a draft dodger. He tried everything he could to avoid the military service in Japan. He was raised as a girl for a few years by his grandmother. He was like kidnapped by his grandmother or his aunt and raised as a girl and like being a shut-in for a while. That I think messed with him psychologically. He's got all these. It seemed obvious to me that he had a fetish for ritual suicide, and this manifested a lot in his artwork. Anyway, we talked about this at extent before. The argument I would make is that I don't think you can separate the writings of the individual from the life that they lived. Some people say you can, but I do think if you're reading Friedrich Nietzsche, you do need to take into account the life that he lived, and he was an outsider in many ways to what he was advocating or exploring.
Yes.
Whereas I don't think you see that with the Marcus Aurelius, or you don't see that with other thinkers. And philosophy seemed to become this thing where it was only insane losers that were doing it. And I don't think you need to be an insane loser to get into philosophy. And I think philosophy that emerges from more normal martial people, I think that might be better.
It should.
Anyway, that's a good. I don't know if I you can probably deconstruct what I just said, but I think that's a different direction.
It's true.
Some people,
it's just true.
Because some people think that the more insane and the more dysgenic and the more fucked up you are psychologically, the better you are to address these philosophical inquiries.
Here's how I view it. It's the same as any other field of expertise. If you want to know something about electrical engineering, you ask an electrical engineer. You want to know about a horse, you ask an equestrian, right? You want to know about, hey, you know what I hate? I hate getting parenting advice from unmarried 19-year-olds. And you know what I really hate is getting philosophy from fucking weird freaks with strange sexual obsessions who have never touched a girl, who have never led an army, who have never been married, let alone had a fucking family, who had never had a job, never owned a business, never even had friends because they live in a weird hole, like Marx. Like, why would think of it in terms of expertise. You're going to build your whole fucking life philosophy around what this nigger is saying, and you're telling me that he never kissed a girl. Are you serious? Come on, guys.
And also Sex Freakman points out Mishima was a pre-vitalist thing. I just want to clear I of course, I know that too. We've discussed Mishima pretty much in depth before. I think he was appropriated by our side, even pre-vitalist. I think he was just kind of a guy people found interesting, and still do. I think a lot of people, they probably haven't read much Mishima, and even those who have, I haven't read any of his plays, I haven't read any of his novels. They say those are good. I believe you. I just, I don't know. Maybe they're great. Maybe they're as literature, pieces of literature, they seem to be good. Fine. But as a political theorist, I'm not sure. And we saw how his life ended. It ended in hilarious humiliation. Anyway, but also we got trouble over here saying all history is biography. Fair enough. And even Sean Weiland pointed out, Nietzsche said all philosophy is autobiographical. I think, and again, I'm not trying to say that everything Nietzsche says must be discounted. I just think people think that the ideas you create can be divorced from the life that you live, and I'm coming to an understanding that they're much more connected. Anyway, we spent a long time on that.
Yes.
With the time we have remaining, do you want to watch this little video here?
I love videos. Let's see it.
Ooh, I love videos. It's called What's Fueling White Nationalism in Canada. This was produced by TVO, which is TV Ontario.
I haven't heard that in a long time. I didn't know they're still around.
They might just be a website. I'm looking at tvo.me.
Oh, no.
And
for people who don't... Yeah.
TVO, I believe, was one of our many state broadcasters. I think that would have been our version of PBS, or did we have PBS?
I remember it. Yeah, PBS. It was like a public broadcaster that had sometimes some weird shit on it. They had reruns of kids programs, but also some strange stuff on there in the late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what so when you watch this, understand that it's state funded. This is the government trying to understand what's going on here. So we'll just watch this for a bit. We'll just have some fun. Wind out the clock. Let's wind out 2026.
Yeah. Many Canadians like to think it's mostly an issue.
Right away. I'm not.
J.N. Jaganathan, the Star Wars man.
We got the host, Jay. It is a Star Wars name.
I got that from Ford. He always says they have Star Wars names.
Jayan Jaganathan. Yeah, that's like a bounty hunter name.
Yeah, give him a helmet.
Darth Vader's gonna give this guy an order in 2 seconds.
South of the border. But white nationalism is on the rise here too. These are groups who embrace intolerance and hate and believe Canada's true identity should be European and white. They've become more visible, although they rarely show their faces. The Second Sons, which
They love that, don't they? They don't even show their faces. Okay, I would say, why do you want them to show their faces? What would you do? Do you want to do something to them?
Yeah, why does it matter, bud?
You know why they hide their faces? And we said this before. They have something to lose. If they show it's the guys who show their faces who tend to be like single and looking to die. All these guys, many of them probably have families and jobs and stuff, and they know that you, Mr. fucking Bonthar, Mr. fucking, I'm trying to think of a Star Wars name, Bonthar Jehudidu. Except this guy. Okay, let me just give a note here. If you're going to wear the full face mask, guys, you got to wear the hat too. You can't just have your hair poking out. That looks unreal.
calls itself a Canadian men's nationalist group, held a march in Niagara-on-the-Lake on Labor Day weekend. In September, at an event called the Canada First Patriot Rally, anti-immigrant protesters faced off against counter-protesters at Christie Pitts Park in Toronto. These groups don't just march. At parks and gyms across the province, they're training, experts say, for what they think is coming, a race war. So what's fueling white nationalism in Canada, and what do we know about these groups? This.
We kind of already said it too. Like, you could actually say, what's fueling it? Well, they want to work out and prepare for a race war, and they think that a Canadian identity should be centered around Europeans. That's it. That actually is it.
You got him.
But we're going to try and deconstruct that from here.
Here's the rundown. What are the roots of white nationalism in Canada, and how has extremism evolved here? Unraveled, a TVO series that unravels key issues happening in Ontario and across the country,
Unraveled, a show that unravels. You fucking asshole.
investigates in the first part of their three-part series, Origins, the striking rise of right-wing extremism.
I think we don't talk much about it.
Seems like it's like a show within a show, doesn't it? Jesus Christ.
Extremism at all in the Canadian context.
We often think that this is an American problem. This doesn't happen in
This bitch right here, this is trouble. I don't know nothing about her, but that right there, that's gonna
She looks
cause
like she's 17 too.
Yeah, there's always one of these. I remember there's the one that worked for Vice that interviewed Richard Spencer, and 99% sure that he fucked. But she's like young, raised by good parents, but the pathway that would have taken her here. You know what I mean? She's hardcore normal. You hate to see it.
The extreme seems to be coming closer to the talk much about extremism at all in the Canadian context.
We often.
I'm being told that's a tranny. What do you think?
Where? This?
You think?
Nope. I don't.
I
think
didn't.
So.
I didn't detect. Let me see here.
Think that this is an American problem. This doesn't happen in Canada.
That's a young woman.
Yeah, I think the voice is.
This could be a man, but it's probably just her aunt.
Oh yeah, this right here. That's just, you know what? This is what I hate about trans. They've really ruined homely women. Like you'd see this type of woman all over the place.
Yeah.
This woman could make a mean pie, but now she's got to walk around in her entire life. Everyone's assuming she's a guy. Everyone's assuming she wants to fucking shove whole children up her ass. It's not fair. I'll tell you what. The choice of that attire tells me that's a woman.
Yes. Yes.
That's a very matronly type shirt. Yeah. You wouldn't see a tranny pick something that, characterful, but also designed to box the frame.
Are we the last generation that understands what aunties actually look like? And that there's going to be nothing left of aunties in 30 years. It's just trannies.
This is her dressing up, too. I bet she looks like this when she goes on a date because she's a widow.
She probably has a Roots hoodie that she watches the soaps with.
If she was trans, she wouldn't have that nose.
Yeah.
I'm just being mean now.
She would have just...
Okay, Adam's apple detected. I don't... Where?
Oh,
Where?
No, the young one? Keep rolling.
Roll it! Okay, let's...
In the Canadian context.
We often think that this is an American.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
This doesn't happen in Canada.
You guys
the extreme seems to be coming closer to the mainstream.
And so we've seen some of these ideas push people into violence and the
That's a
speed at
woman.
which they radicalize.
That's a woman. This right here.
The violence has been quite shocking.
They see it as defensive violence, that they had to lash out, that they had to eliminate the threat by murder, by death.
The one other thing in this whole extremism conversation, and who is included, who is not included, state actors are not included.
Okay, I just is this real? Did this guy? For those who are just listening, we're looking at a white man who's got a knuckle tattoo that just says "Hate You!"
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation.
Hey, hate you. Hate you.
You know, it's like the edit of Die Hard with a Vengeance, where Bruce Willis was wearing the sandwich board, and in the original it said "I hate niggers," and then for the TV release they edited it so it says "I hate everybody." Guess what? I hate you. Whoever
that's
you
actually
is.
more racist because it's I hate everybody, but he's looking across the street, and then all the niggers are gonna come and kill him.
The funny thing is somebody's like, he hates everyone. Do you understand how fucked up you have to be to hate everyone? Buddy, that's everybody on Earth.
Damn.
How did we get here? Let's unravel the rise of right-wing extremism in Canada. How did we get here?
I feel like we've been introducing this topic for, 2 minutes straight. We've got
This is really bad.
5 different title cards.
This is classic TVO.
Keep in mind that they've already explained what it is. Like, they think it's a defensive war, and they think they're being replaced, and they're preparing for conflict. Thank you. I'm looking forward to you saying how that's wrong.
Well, we've been here.
Anytime we see a country with a foundation of imperialism and colonization, we're going to have racist, often xenophobic sentiments in that country.
All right, stick with me here. Time for a mini history lesson. Exclusionary practices are one of the few constants in Canadian.
Oh no, this is what's going to be. They're going to make this about Aboriginals. Of course, because this is what I'm going to say. Canada was always racist. You might think the roots of Canada's racism are your roots. You're racist. Okay, every time you run something like that, Dominion Society, Second Sons, the Loyalist, there's another group called like the Loyalist Pioneers, something like that. Like they get 5 more guys. You see what I'm saying? Like we're trying to explain a white guy who doesn't know any better is probably watching something like this. Like, I'm hearing about Nazis in Canada. What the H? What's going on? Let me watch this documentary. And then within the first 5 minutes, you've made him the villain. You've said, you know who's a Nazi is every Canadian, by the way. Okay, thanks. Okay, I guess it ain't so. I'm a Nazi right now. You're telling me. Doesn't feel so bad. So tell me more about these other guys over here. They just can't help themselves. You can't just, you're right, you're white, so you're already kind of racist. Okay, so maybe I go over here with the guys lifting weights. Because I look over here and it's just faggots. It's just faggots saying that I should die. There's one place in this country that's not telling me to die? I didn't know that could exist. That's what they're all saying to themselves. Mm-hmm. Epstein's news says, these bio-Leninist creatures are always the best recruiters. True.
History. Even before the creation of Canada, the papal bulls were used to justify the seizure and occupation of land from Indigenous peoples. It underpins many of the policies and laws that continue to this day. In the 1600s, colonists enslaved black...
Oh, by the way, we're going to skip this a little bit. I'm just going to skip past the mini history lessons here. We're going to cover this on the show. I think the next classic Blood Satellite episode, we're covering 2 books, and we're going deeper into Aboriginal history. And you will be surprised, maybe not you specifically, but I think even the most ardent racists amongst us will be surprised at how nice we were to Aboriginals the entire time.
Yeah.
How great. Like, there was like not a single thing. Like, they were begging us for outposts. They were begging, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Sexual orientation. Additionally, a 12% increase in violent hate crimes. These include major assaults and death threats. And a 53% increase in the number of homicide victims due to hate crimes.
In fact, if we look at Islamophobic murder specifically, we have had more than per capita than any other country.
Less than 1/3 of the hate crimes reported to police were actually solved.
There you go.
Shit, I was muted. Sorry.
You muted yourself. Oh, I thought it was me for a sec.
I was saying that's not true.
Yeah,
that's not true.
well, it's not.
She had just said that there's more Islamophobic murders in Canada than any other country. That means the world.
How about Israel?
There's
How
no,
about fucking Israel?
Yeah.
Like, they literally murder them by the baker's dozen. Children. It's like a weekend thing for that. It's like, come on, man.
I noticed that there's no statistic given for that. There was no, and look, they love throwing up stats on screen. So like, what? There's more Muslims murdered here than in Gaza. Shut the fuck up. What an insane! They have to move past that. They just couldn't edit it out.
The Canadian Security Intelligence Service is now warning that extreme.
Skip ahead.
They set up hikes, canoe trips, and potlucks. They're also recruiting for fascist fight clubs. How much do we know about these so-called active clubs? How many are there in Ontario, and are they growing? I asked Eric Cito, a reporter for CBC Visual Investigations, who worked...
They're canoeing, they're boxing, they're doing potlucks. Here's what you need to know about the worst Nazis in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen an expose or coverage of any active club in America, wherever it might be, that doesn't make them sound cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's increasing cases and reports of guys being dudes.
Yeah.
What should you, a woman, feel about this?
for months to track the groups and identify their locations. And Stephen Ray, Senior Research Manager at the Institute for Strategic Dialogue, a think tank focused on combating hate, extremism, and authoritarianism. Eric's...
They're concerned about authoritarianism, but never, ever, 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 ever criticize the government.
Yeah.
Like, never have anything to say about Mark Carney, of course. Yeah. Look at this. Here's a two.
Both of these guys, man. Oh, geez.
These are
man.
two sets of dead eyes. These are eyes from war criminals. Am I wrong?
Not. I mean, these are the eyes of guys that I see in construction sites around the third world. They're just regular dudes, but I just don't know why they're on television.
They're either war criminals or just regular guys.
So they're regular guys with an IQ of 82 that you don't want to talk to unless you're trying to bum a smoke. I don't know. These are not guys that I trust or want to hear what they have to say, is what I'm saying.
They're hiking, they're camping, they're committing hate crimes. I'm sorry, all three of those things actually sound cool. Like, to a guy. To a guy.
Stephen, really appreciate you guys joining us on the line. Eric, I'm going to come to you first. You're part of a team that investigated white nationalist active clubs in Canada. Before we get into that investigation, I really want to know what led you.
Wearing a zip-up coat on an interior Zoom interview is wild.
Yeah.
This is a man, let's just say it, here's a man, Jehudabu Zanzibar. This man does not like his body.
No.
This is a deeply insecure man. This is a man who, this is the best shirt this is his interview shirt.
That's all I got.
5 minutes before he started panicking, he said, I'm going to pick the right shirt. I'm not going to wear the coat. Now look at him. Look at him. That's a very clumsily applied lav mic.
To this story in the first place.
Yeah, there were a number of reasons why we started looking into this. Primarily it was...
Okay, let's just establish here. This professional man, he is, as you said, dressed as if he works in a restaurant. I'm seeing a bunk bed in the background.
Yes. Buddy.
It looks like he's living in a hostel.
Yes. or like he's doing it from his kid's room because his wife's cooking or something.
Which is a wild place. But even for a kid's room, this looks like a man living in a room designed
on
like
the door. Is he broadcasting from like Thailand or something? This doesn't look like Toronto.
Yeah. Let's try and take apart this guy's life. I don't think this is a kid's room. I think this is just a very sad man's room.
Yeah, maybe.
One was that, one of our producers actually last year, he had come across some of these videos that were put out by some of these active clubs. And he noticed when he was trying to find where they were training that there were soccer academies training there. There were, kids playing at these same locations where essentially where these active clubs were training and making their videos. So he said, this is in the public interest. Like, we need to do something about this. Like, they're training next to you might not even know it. So that was one of the big things. But one of the other big things too is that, when we started digging into it a little bit more, you realize how much of an overlap there is with white nationalism, with some of the more violent extremist aspects of this. And so it kind of became more evident to us that we needed to do something. But then what really precipitated all of this was actually all those big mass deportation rallies that happened last year or earlier this year. There was, just imagine if you might have seen the videos, but dozens of men, black, outfits, masks, marching around in unison, calling for mass deportations. And we thought to ourselves, okay, these groups are becoming much more bold, seemingly freer to do these things. And so we said, we got to move on this. So we started moving on it.
Stephen, Eric painted that picture.
Who is we? Oh, actually, let's watch this guy. I got to see this guy. This guy's a perfectly, what would you call that? Almost cylindrical head.
Yeah, I was going to say, they look like he's pressed out of a chocolate mold.
He looks like, those like those fabric masks you have, you can wear that's like another face printed on it.
He's That's what it is.
It looks exactly like
I'm saying he's a dude wearing another dude's face. He's got the pantyhose over his head.
This is like a pantyhose mask with a fucking printed face on it.
Quite lovely in terms of what we have been seeing. It seems like the conversation around white nationalism is more prevalent now than ever. This is something that you have been looking at for quite a while. Is that true?
That's right. We're very much seeing a growing white nationalist sentiment in Canada that has really accelerated within the past 5-6 years. And what's really concerning about this as well is not just that the sentiment itself is rising, but the threat is becoming more multifaceted and challenging. So for example, a lot of these white supremacist ideas that we're seeing now, 5, 6, 7 years ago, were very much confined to the fringes of society. What we've really seen as of late is what we at the Institute for Strategic Dialogue call the mainstreaming of some of these extremist narratives.
So I know we need to get going soon, and so maybe we can just wrap it up with this, but I know we didn't get to watch much of this, but I was skipping through it earlier, and it doesn't really go much further than this. And one thing I noticed about the various coverage I've been seeing on, let's just say, the larger paradigm shift that we're seeing narratively and culturally, we're nowhere near where we would like to be, but compared to 5 years ago, I think we're on a very optimistic route. But what I'm noticing is that they're speaking in liberal terms, and we can call back to that earlier interview with the Collinses, right? You're dealing with a liberal interviewer that speaks a different language. They have different lexicon. Their words, when they use them, mean different, and they use them in a different way than you use words, of course. But you're seeing, I gotta get this guy's face off the screen right now, or at least not as big. What you're seeing is they're speaking in a very shit-libby way to a shit-lib audience, which is that they have failed to make you concerned or scared of this group. What have they said thus far? All they've told you is that this is gaining in popularity. These groups are growing. They are getting closer to the mainstream, and they're highly effective and organized. That's all you've learned at around 11 minutes in, close to halfway through this entire thing. And that's what every article says. All they say to you is that, look, there are these groups, there are these nationalist groups, they're for young white men, and they're really popular, and they're really cool, and they're highly effective, and everyone's talking about them. That's all they say.
Like an advertisement.
It is, I can't see it as anything other than an advertisement. And just to be clear, I don't think it's an op. I don't think it's anything like that. I'm just saying that they lack the ability to communicate their fear. They cannot make other people fearful of it. It just seems to legitimize it every single time I've seen it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's exactly it. They're playing by an old rule book where I don't know how to describe it, but like a lot of things that they can tell themselves. Like if you just mention it's just for white men, then you're supposed to recoil at that. So if they don't realize how much has changed in the past, I guess since 2020, 2021, where we don't fucking care anymore, dude. And you at this point, you're just advertising. So, yeah.
I'm just going through some of the comments here that I missed. Epistemological bifurcation from Mr. Trouble 820. I like that.
There it is.
Sean Weiland saying anti-white hatred also used to be fringe until it wasn't. Fair point. Things can be centered. Things can be mainstream. And I think the way we're going about it, at least, as I said before, my main concern is not inhabiting an anti-white system. That's my main concern. Any other branching concerns really have to connect to that trunk and the enemies that are revealed. When I simply affirm that, I don't want to live in an anti-white system. Who stands against that? Who tries to undercut that? Who tries to shit test that? Well, then you know who your enemies are. Very often they might very well be Jews, but that's how you reveal the enemy. So, and I think there's more people than ever before who are using the term anti-white. I really like that term. I think it works. It's very easily understood. And I don't think these individuals know what to do about that. They're just talking. I look at this, Doug. This shit isn't cheap. This is our tax dollars at work. And they're getting together and they're just yapping. They're saying, look, you probably didn't know this, but Canada's always been racist. 5 minutes ago, they were making the case that Canada's always been racist. You, the viewer, are racist. This country sucks, and you're part of a corrupt system. But here's this thing that allows white men to get in shape and not feel ashamed about themselves. And you know what they also do is potlucks. You know what they also do is cool boxing matches. You know what also they do is they go do push-ups in the park. And some people disparage them for that. Say, oh, push-ups in the park. Ain't nothing wrong with push-ups in the park. Ain't nothing wrong with any of this stuff. Everyone should be doing it. Yeah. Everyone should be, like, it's not just fucking learning. It's not learning how to make a bomb. It actually is just guys doing what guys should be doing. I'd go even crazier. I don't think active clubs are new metal enough. I'd like to. There's no active club as I know of that is teaching you how to do donuts in a parking lot. That's a problem. There's no active club that's teaching you. Yeah, they're teaching you maybe how to do target practice. There's no one doing gun kata. There's no one doing, spin the fucking AK in the air, catch it behind the back. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's no one teaching you how to run up a wall. They're saying, oh, we do rock climbing. Blow me. I want to do where's the needles? How do you wear a trench coat? What poses can you do? Like basic shit. They're not doing destruction derbies. Well, dimes, what skill is taught by that? I don't fucking know how to get into a car crash. No one's teaching you. No one's teaching you how to drive a car into a rundown condemned house. That's a problem. That's what we're seeking to solve with our active club. It really is guys being dudes.
Yeah.
That we're gonna have guests. We're gonna bring in guest speakers. We're gonna bring in an Asian guy who's on testosterone and anabolic steroids, and we're gonna have him there. We're just gonna see what happens. What are you gonna do to him? I want him to kick the shit out of me.
This is all experimental, we'll see what happens.
Have you ever been a part of an active club where you just get your ass kicked every day? All right, so anyway, we've been going for a while now. I think we actually got to everything I wanted to do. I hope no one was damaged by the episode tonight. I hope no one thinks that I was coming for their necks with rhetoric. But all we learned this episode was the male Collins beats the shit out of his wife behind the scenes. Certainly.
Which is, this is like a Christmas gift, belated Christmas gift.
That might have been one of the things I would have added out a regular episode. I'm like, we had a nice landing, stuck it smooth, and then I just hit the Mario Kart turtle shell right at the end. Oh man. All right, so I will guess we'll see you all